Yeah.
How's the family? How's everything going?
Ah, great, man. Couldn't be better. Life is fantastic.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
like life, man.
You do, really?
Oh, my God.
Wow.
People that complain about it. First of all, you're lucky enough to be alive when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Your mother had to have sex with your father. That your grandparents had to have sex. Great-grandparents had to have sex. It's lucky you're alive, my God.
It's amazing.
And I'm so happy every day that I'm alive because it's just a fluke. There's so many more people that never got to be alive. You know? And,
that's an interesting point. I guess you're right. If you do the math.
So when people carp about it, I'm like, man, it's the greatest gig in the world, being alive. You get to eat at Denny's, wear a hat, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, get haircuts. It is. Well, good. I'm glad life is going well. I know.
Ridiculous.
Now, I've never asked you this before, and we've been good friends for many years.
Ah.
Okay, I made that up. But
No. We haven't?
No, we're friends. We're good friends. But I don't know what your... McDonald, is that Irish? Is that Scottish? What's your ethnic background?
My ethnic background is Polish.
Are you really Polish? Wow.
Polish people,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
McDonald, you don't...
Well, my parents changed their names. They had to because of the constant ribbing they'd get for being Polish, you know. And so they changed their name to McDonald. But, you know, it's one of the things that you can, you know, I mean, I get a little upset about it, you know, because, you know,
all the Polish jokes and stuff.
you can't make jokes about other people, but for some reason you make jokes about Polish people, you know.
Right.
I don't like it.
Right. You shouldn't. That sounds bad, yeah.
I mean, I had an experience, you know. I go in and I order a Polish sausage, you know, from this guy, you know. And so the guy says to me, you must be Polish. And I said, come on, man. I mean, come on. Think about it, what you're saying. You know, I'm trying to knock some sense into this fellow's head, maybe give him a wider world view, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I said, you think because I order a Polish sausage, I'm Polish. I said, what if somebody came in here and ordered French toast? Would you think he was French, you know?
Right.
I mean, what if somebody came in here and ordered a Belgian waffle? Would you consider that guy a Belgian, you know? I mean, if a guy came in and ordered a German bratwurst, would you consider that fellow to be a German fella?
Right.
I said, what if a guy came in and ordered German potato salad? I suppose you'd think he was German too. Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, what if a guy...
Wow, you talked to this guy for a while.
I'm telling you, man. With racist, you have to get through
You have to really get it into their head. Right.
I said, if a guy came in and he ordered a Cuban hamburger, are you going to assume he's a Cuban?
Right.
I said, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that just because I come in here, I order a Polish sausage, why would you jump to the fact that I'm Polish?
Right.
And the guy says to me, well, first of all, it's a hardware store.
And you hate Polish jokes, don't you? You just hate them.
No, I think they're disgusting.
Let me ask you quickly. We haven't talked to you in so long. I want to ask you about your family.
My great family. I love them all.
How's your... we used to talk in the old days. You and I used to spin some yarns about Uncle Hector. How's Uncle Hector?
Oh, Uncle Hector. Uncle Hector...
He's Polish too, I'm guessing.
No, he wasn't Polish.
Oh, okay.
No, he was from my cousin's side of the family. And he was... he was a great man, my uncle, you know.
Right.
He was an old fella. He actually rode the rails during the Depression.
Oh.
You know, he was a hobo.
Hobo.
As you might call him. I don't like that term, but whatever.
Tramp or whatever,
Yeah,
what have you.
Railroad bum. But he wasn't a bum. He was just out. He was a good, honest man during the Depression searching for work, you know. And, you know, he had no money, so he'd travel the country trying to find work, and he actually rode the rails, Uncle Hector. And he told me, it was an interesting story, he'd go through, this was in Canada, and there's a town called Kitchener in Canada, and the railroad cops were tough, boy. They were tougher than the real cops, you know. They had a law of their own, the railroad cops.
I feel like I should be tucked into bed listening to you. Anyway, a law of their own, those railroad cops.
But there was not a railroad cop tougher than Kitchener Leslie. Oh, boy. He was well known. He was well known for beating hobos to death.
Really? He found a hobo on his train. He beat him to death.
He beat him to death. And so what the railroad bums would all do is, as Kitchener approached, of course, oh, hey, hey, Norm, how you doing? So,
wow, such focus on these stories.
That wasn't a mirror. That was another guy.
Okay, oh, it was a guy named Norm.
Yeah. So the railroad bums would all hop off before they got to Kitchener,
right,
to avoid being beaten to death by Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
Anyways, my Uncle Hector, a good man, you know, and he walked into a mine one day. This is a story for that I think the young people could learn from.
Don't go mine hopping, kids.
During the height of the Depression, where there was absolutely no work, my Uncle Hector walked into I won't say the name of the mining company. It was McIntyre Mine, and he walked in. He had his lunchbox with him and his work boots, and he said, "Sir," he said, "I want a job." And they said, "We have no jobs." He said, "Well, 500 people work here at McIntyre Mine." He goes, "I don't think there are 500 men here better than I." He says, "As a matter of fact, I don't think there are 200 men better than I." He says, I think you'd be strapped to find 100 men better than I." And by golly, he got the job. What do you think of that?
That's a great story.
Now,
I'm sensing there's more. Now back to Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
The most dreaded.
No. Uncle Hector. Uncle Hector.
What?
No,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to help you out.
No, Uncle Hector.
Dad, where's this story going?
Uncle Hector worked in a mine, and it's a hellish job, the mine, as you well know. You know, darkness, you know.
It's dank. It's
dank.
Yeah.
It's coaly. It's a lot of.
What?
Well, you're in a coal mine.
It's not coaly. It's coal-ridden.
It's
coal-infested. It's not coaly.
It's coal-infested. So he worked in the mine, and by God, he worked hard. And after a week of working hard, he said to the shift manager, he said, He said, "By golly, I'd like to have a lady. I work hard, and where would I find a lady here in town?" Well, they said to Uncle Hector, they says, we have sex with animals here. By God, says Uncle Hector, I'm not going to do that. Why, I'm a normal fella. Well, then be to your own devices then. So,
be to your own devices?
Yeah.
Wow.
Uncle Hector continued working in the mine. He worked hard, and he worked long, and he worked for a low wage. But he was a man. And Uncle Hector, after a couple of weeks passed, he started to get a little itch, you know, as you and I say.
Right.
You know?
Right. When we're thinking about the
ladies,
yeah.
And, but he kept it under control. He went again. He said, "Are you sure there's no ladies here?" "No, we have sex with animals." Ah, my God. 6 months passed, and Uncle Hector couldn't take it any longer, he told me.
Right.
He said, "By God, I just had to, I'm just a man, I'm weak, you know. I'm not a saint, you know, and I was born in sin, I suppose, and I couldn't resist. I just needed it." So he said he walked by a pasture, and there was a pig.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so Uncle Hector said, well, he said, I walked up, and I began having sex with a pig. And he said, all of a sudden, he saw all the miners, like, around him, you know, looking at him. They go, "Uncle Hector, what the hell are you doing over there?" And Uncle Hector's like indignant. He's like, "What? Well, you're the guys that told me that you have sex with animals." They're like, "Uncle Hector, you damn fool. That's Kitchener Leslie's girlfriend." Of all the animals.
All the animals to have sex with.
You don't want to have sex
And not with Kitchener Leslie's pig. No, that's terrible.
Not Kitchener Leslie's pig. Kitchener Leslie's lady.
Oh, yeah. You tell quite a yarn, man.
Well, I had shorter ones, but...
There's no other guest tonight. That pretty much.
I have one other funny anecdote, and it's very short.
I don't think we can.
Here he is, the always entertaining Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I saw that show today, Norm. Very funny.
What show? The TV show?
Yeah, your TV show.
Oh, yeah,
congratulations. And by the way, you look very youthful. And how come we haven't seen you in 2 years?
Oh, how come I haven't been here in 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I've been busy. I got a kid, you know.
I know. How old
well, you got a kid?
Yeah, I do.
How old's Harry?
He's 7.
Yeah, man, they grow up so slow. You know, it's barely discernible. Isn't it?
Yes, how old is your son?
He's 18. They get far less cute.
Yeah.
They're
Good
not as cute when they're out on the lawn punching you in the chest.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's good to have you here.
Oh, it's good to be here,
and,
man.
In addition to the new show, the Norm MacDonald Sports Show, you have like your was it your first stand-up special?
Yes, I did a Comedy Central special.
Great.
One of 40 they did this year on Comedy Central. And but it was fun. But I got a weird time. They showed it at 11:30 and on Saturday, and it turned out that was during this thing called Earth Hour. I think some people know what it is.
Yeah.
On Earth Hour, you have to turn off your electricity. So.
Wow. That's horrible.
And as you know, and as I know, and as they apparently know, TVs are powered by electricity. Yeah. So, and furthermore, my key demographic is damn dirty hippies.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, you know, what are you going to do?
Took one on the chin there.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm very surprised and impressed about this, that you've built kind of like a Twitter following.
Yes, well, I'm an internet sensation.
Whoa. Now, I didn't take you for a guy that would know about that kind of stuff.
I know all about that stuff,
Really?
man.
When did you start Twitter?
2 weeks ago.
Really?
But this is what I know. I did it for the Oscars. The guy told me how to do it, and I was watching the Oscars, and you know how horrible those were. And so it was pretty easy to do just jokes constantly on how horrible everyone was, you know. And you know, and some of the things were nice, like it was nice to see Kirk Douglas, of course, you know, and he had that terrible stroke, which didn't affect his comic timing at all. But so I Twittered, and I ended up Twittering 190 tweets.
Whoa.
And it turns out it's way too much.
Really?
So people started telling me to stop. Anyways, get this, just earlier this happened, right before we came on the show. I walked out here.
Yeah.
I'm in some kind of Twitter feud with Steve Martin.
I know that Steve also actively Twitters.
Yeah, so this is what happened. Dig this. You know how to tweet?
No.
You don't know how to tweet?
No.
Where you been? He writes a tweet. I misunderstand it. I reply.
Let's hear what he says.
What he said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is what he said. I'm not really that great at it, but he said, has anybody seen my hat? Now, I'm looked everywhere for it. I can't find my hat.
Right.
So I say, was it a brown fedora with a red hat band? But what I didn't know is he sent a twit pic.
Stop right there. Let me just say, if this is an example of Twitter communication, it's invaluable.
What do you think I should answer him? This is the last thing he said to me. He goes, this just came in 9 seconds ago. He goes, still mulling over this tweet from Norm to me. It's so enigmatic. Is it a put down?
Honestly, I mean, he lost a hat, right?
Yeah.
And then you responded, is it with a red hat band?
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense.
Yeah, it's a generational thing.
Oh, that's it. I guess so. Well, what isn't?
Now, I will tell you what's cool about the internet and being an internet sensation and stuff. On the YouTube now, everybody, you know, I don't know if you remember, but the and did you ever hear the Andy Williams quote? In the future, everybody will be famous for 25 minutes.
Yes, I think it was Andy Warhol. Andy Williams was Moon River. Andy, it's a generational thing. Yeah, okay.
But here's the thing. Like, for instance, have you ever heard of Harrison Schmitt?
No.
Okay. He walked on the moon.
I didn't know that.
Right. An astronaut. Right. A guy who walked on the moon. There's very few people that have been in the position to go, hey, where's the moon? There it is.
Right. Well, you're right. That's a good point.
Right. Now, so 12 people have landed on the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. Who else?
Right.
So this Harrison Schmitt fellow must be going, what the hell do I have to do to get famous?
Yeah.
Right? Meanwhile, the Kardashians, we know Khloe, we know...
It's awful.
Yeah, Lois.
Lois Kardashian.
All of them.
We'll be right back with Norm MacDonald, everybody. You can tweet Steve Martin. Can you tweet him right now?
I can tweet him, yeah.
Or just tell him that I said hi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that you're on the show and we're talking about him. And
okay, awesome.
I said hi.
Awesome.
And add this. I'm sorry about the hat.
You know what's great also, while I do this, I'll tell you this. The great thing about the blogosphere... Now, the great thing is this, that you have friends, you see what I mean? Yeah. Now, on the computer, I have about 160,000 friends.
Whoa.
In real life, I have 2. But I actually like my friends on the blogosphere here, because this is the thing. Like they can go like in real life, right? Your friend will go, hey, my grandmother died this morning, and then you go, oh, good. Do you want to come over to my house and talk about it for 4 hours? And then on this thing, your friend can go, hey, my grandmother died today, and then you go, unfollow.
Now, Norm, are you? Do I remember that you were?
I'm talking to Steve Martin.
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, if you just get that over to him by Labor Day, that'd be. Do you still gamble? Somebody told me that you did. Or did we know that?
Yeah, I used to gamble.
You don't gamble anymore.
Don't gamble anymore.
Was it a problem? Did it get to be a problem?
Yeah, it got to be a problem, man. And then I tried to do it smart. Every time I tried to do it smart, a bad thing would happen.
Like
you know?
What do you mean?
Well, one time I was trying to handicap baseball, you know, which you can actually beat baseball if you handicap it properly. So I was trying to handicap, and I figured it out for like 3 hours, and I went down to the book in Mirage, the sports book, went up to the fella, you know, and there was a guy beside me, a big fat guy, you know, and he was dressed like real rich, you know, and he opened a big attaché case filled with $10,000 chips, pulls out like $750,000, and he's going to bet on this boxer, you know, a fighter, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a 4-to-1 underdog. So I said, I'm not going to bet my baseball bet. I'll just bet on this 4-to-1 underdog, you know?
He must know something.
Yeah, because this guy must know something. He's probably in the mafia. So I go and watch the boxing match, Dave, and the guy, my guy that I bet on, gets knocked out in 25 seconds.
Oh, no. Whoa.
So I go back to the book. I go, what, that guy from the mafia? What? He goes, that guy's not from the mafia. He goes, that's old long shot Louis. He goes, he's a rich guy, loves long shots.
Well, there's just no winning, is there?
No, there's no winning. Nobody ever wins.
Now, this sports show with Norm MacDonald premieres, you know, it's my birthday, April 12th.
That's your birthday?
I saw it this afternoon. Very funny show, and I think it's going to be a huge hit for you.
You want to hear a sports joke?
Yeah.
Oh, you like racing cars, right? Yeah. How about that Daytona 500? Yeah. How about that kid that won? Right. How old was he?
Like 20?
Yeah. He raced all around. You know why he went so fast, apparently? He was texting the whole time. It's generational.
The show premieres April 12th on Comedy Central. Sports show with Norm MacDonald. Great pleasure to see you.
It was great to see you, man.
Don't wait 2 years to come back. Welcome back to C.C. Sabathia, ladies and gentlemen.
I live at 56 between 8th and Broadway.
Okay, and what's your phone number? Just give me 7 digits. All right. What? Your neighbors nice people? The people that live around you?
Great people. Every day I meet somebody new. You know, this city's great because of the neighborly people. You know. I don't know. But I did meet one neighbor, interesting story, you know, that this guy just moved in, you know, next door to me. So I'm always one to meet the neighbors.
You like to chat with the neighbors,
yeah, because, you know, so I went over to the guy, knocked on the door next door to where I live, and I say to the guy, I said, hey, I'm your new neighbor, you know, and I said, good to see you, you know, nice to run into you, you know, welcome to the neighborhood, you know. And so the guy, I said, what do you do for a living there, sir? You know, if you don't mind me asking. You know, what do you do for a living? I'm a nightclub comic, I tell the guy. So he says to me, he says, I work down at the University of Science there. He says, that's
a good school, by the way.
I can't remember the exact place.
Sure.
But he says, I'm a professor of logic. So I says to the guy, he says, logic. Now, what the hell is that? I never heard tell of that. He says, oh, well, he says it's a kind of a pattern of syllogistic. Well, he says it's hard to explain. He says, why don't I give you an example? So I said, fair enough. Why don't you do that? So the guy says, well, he says, let me ask you a question. He says, do you own a doghouse? So I go, yes, I do. He says, well, then that means you probably have a dog. I said, yes. He says, well, that means you're likely you have a family if you have a dog. I said, yes, I do. He said, well, then that means you got kids, you're married. I said, yes, yes, I am. He says, well, then you're a heterosexual man. I said, yes, sir, I am. He says, well, you see, that's logic there. I asked if simply from finding out you had a doghouse, I made this series of inferences, and I found that you're a heterosexual man simply from the fact that you had a doghouse. Well, I said, good God, isn't that something?
Okay.
So I said, well, I won't waste any more of your time there, neighbor. And I said, I'll see you later.
See you around. Okay.
So I said, come by one day and have a chicken with me. So anyways, I left. So I left. So I go to get a bus, you know, to the bus stop. And I walk down to the bus stop, and I'm still thinking about this thing that happened to me, you know. And I'm standing at the bus, and no bus coming at all, you know, and 5 or 6 of us standing around, and one guy lights up a cigarette there, and he goes, as soon as you light up a cigarette, the bus comes. And he smokes the whole damn cigarette, no bus comes.
Right.
So I said to the guy, well, that theory really worked, huh? And the guy goes, well, sometimes it works. Anyways, the guy goes, what's new with you? I go, well, I had an interesting thing happen to me today. I said, I met my neighbor. And he goes, oh, yeah? I go, he had a hell of an interesting job. I said, he's a professor of logic down at the University of
Science.
And so the guy says, is that so? He says, professor of logic. He goes, what the hell is that, logic? I said, well, it's a series of something or other.
Right.
I said, I can't remember exactly, but I said, I'll give you an example if you want to hear an example. So the guy goes, all right, fair enough. So I said, let me ask you this. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you own a doghouse? And the guy goes, no, I don't own a doghouse. So the guy says, oh, yeah, you're one of them gays.
And it worked, right? What great stuff you can learn at that
nice.
University of Science there.
And then the guy, get this. Get this.
There's more.
This gay guy invites me to have a chicken at his place.
That's some kind of euphemism. Watch out. All right. Saturday Night Live.
It's one coming up on October 19th. You guys got Bill Pullman and New Edition. That's going to be a good show.
That's going to be great.
That's going to rock and roll.
Oh.
All right. Norm MacDonald, God dang, one of my favorite guests. Thank you for coming. Norm MacDonald, everybody. Steve Buscemi. The Connells are coming up. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the program. My guest tonight, a very funny comedian and actor, is on Saturday Night Live for many years. His new show is Fox's A Minute with Stan Hooper.
Hey, you don't just come in here uninvited. I knocked. Hey, Gary. What are you doing?
I'm getting your bed ready.
Well, we don't want roses on our bed. We don't live like this, Gary.
Yes, you do.
Gary, it's lovely, but that'll be all for tonight.
Oh, okay, Mrs. H. Well, if you need me, I'll be in my quarters.
Oh, where are your quarters?
Why would we need him?
They're right next door.
The house has 5 bedrooms, Gary.
Yes, and mine is next to yours.
Please welcome Norm MacDonald. Norm!
Hello! Hey, Johnny. That clip didn't seem that entertaining.
That's not the whole show, is it?
That's the best part.
You picked that out especially for
I
us?
miss you, Johnny.
I miss you. TV is
Congratulations.
better in my mind. Stop it.
On
TV
your
is better.
Academy Award.
Don't even talk about it. Just wait.
Ah, you won an Emmy.
Wait till the revelations come out. We're going to be top-notch. By the way, you are the first guest to sit in our new couch. Talk to me about...
This is some couch, I'll tell you that, man.
What do you think?
I'd it. That's the highest compliment you can pay a couch.
It is a high compliment. It's just we have a minivan of nuns that is... Have you ever felt a couch that you felt that way before this couch?
No, this is the first one, man. I'm a normal fella, you know.
Uh-huh. Do you think it's the ultra suede?
It may be the, it has a alluring come-hither look.
It has a bit of a nice slant to it, I believe.
It's a goddamn whore, let's be honest. No, it's a nice couch. It's a nice couch. I don't mean to disparage the couch.
Now, we're talking backstage. You mentioned Arnold. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just telling that I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. You love Arnold Schwarzenegger? I can already see him turning the state around. And I thought it was very unfair when people said that he wasn't qualified for the office, you know,
Really?
because they said, you know, because he's a movie star, you know, an action hero, you know, that shouldn't qualify him to be governor of California.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't remember is, and maybe I'm wrong with this, but wasn't he at one point in his life Mr. Universe?
That's right. Well, yeah. You bring up a cogent point.
I mean, this is a tiny state on a globe in the Milky Way.
Right. Just to, yeah. You see the big picture. Exactly, yeah.
Ridiculous.
You know, you're a smart fellow. You should think about running for office with that.
Well, I do feel that one day I might do that. In all humility, I think that I might have some ideas, you know.
Really? Yeah.
But you know, I'm not ready yet. I think you have to prepare for these things.
Yeah.
So I started weightlifting.
You're working out. You look good, I guess.
Yeah, I got my abs.
Yeah, are those abs? Are they supposed to stick out like that? I thought the abs went in. I didn't realize. So your abs are so powerful, they're actually coming forward. Wow, that's amazing.
And they're hairy.
Your hairy abs. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
But I don't even know what I'm supposed to do when I get the abs, really. Do you just show them to people?
Did you injure yourself? Did you?
You know, I worked out, man. I went to this trainer. He was a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And this guy, man, I don't know if you've ever lifted weights. You look like you have, you know?
Yeah.
But, no, he looks like a strong guy. But I went there, and I'd never lifted weights, you know, and I was new to it. And so the idea is you take the weight, you're like, ah, and you lift it up, and then you put it down.
Right, yeah.
And then right away, you go, ah, you lift it again. And you put it down. And you do this 20 times,
Right.
and then the weight's where it was when it started, you know. And then
So you don't really gain anything.
you gain,
No.
the weight is the same place, and your muscles hurt, you're all sore and everything. And very repetitious, you know. It's It's the same problem I have with sex. I know it's too much of the same.
Too much of the same. Yeah.
You can't get into it. And so then this character, my trainer, finally, after 2 weeks of like lifting these crazy amounts of weights, I go, geez, I think I finally, it's getting a little easier. He goes, I'll put more weight on it. I go, what? Then I'm like, it's the same thing again.
Just a never-ending cycle.
I know.
Did you hurt
It's not
yourself?
like
Did you slip a
like
disc or
in
something?
sex, if you finally figure that out, it's not like they bring a heavier lady in.
Right. I guess that's true. Got a bigger girl? Look, we'll take a break. More with Norm right after this. Figure the heavier lady.
He anchors the Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, and he has recently quit the nasty habit of smoking. Norm MacDonald. Norm!
All right.
Now, you're a young iconoclast, Norm. You know, the kids, they get you.
What? I was going to wear a suit, and I
don't need to. I like this whole D.B. Cooper look for you, man. This is... Now,
is he the guy that jumped out of the plane?
No. He's married to Alice Cooper. Now, the thing remember you wrote for my first talk show?
Yeah, you gave me my first job.
And I used to come in the room, and you and Drake Sather had no lights on. It was like some fucking Anton LaVey Satan cult in there, and you guys used to turn out the sickest jokes ever, and everybody was always smoking. Then I see you on Saturday Night Live during the opening credits, and one of the things I like about you is you're completely unfiltered on that show. You'll say anything, and I saw in the picture you had a cigarette in your mouth. I thought, this guy just doesn't give a shit. So I asked you to come on. I find out you pussed out on me and quit smoking. What is that all about?
No, because it's bad for you. They have these fucking things on the side. You have to read the fine print where it says, it's bad.
Now, when did you first start smoking?
I started smoking as a kid, like when I was, I think I was like 14, and I thought, I'll look really cool, like if I start smoking, because I didn't get along with anybody. So I started smoking. Wouldn't you know it, I did look cool. All of a sudden, all these broads like me and everything. Not broads, but ladies, girls. And it was hard though, man, because I was guilty about it all the time I smoked, because I always thought, you know, I always knew it was bad for me, you know. Like even though some guys will say that it's good because their uncle lived long or something, he smoked, you know, and they'll go, hey, what about, you know, that old guy, you know, Bert Mustin, what about that guy, you know? And then he just because he lived long, that doesn't mean anything, right? That's just one guy. You can't, just because Bert Mustin lived long, you're all of a sudden...
You did your master's thesis on this, didn't you? Now, did people bother you a lot when you're smoking? Were people pissed off when...
Yeah, people don't like when you smoke, you know. They're bothered. Like, I gotta admit, though, secondhand smoke is bad. Like, I don't like... When I smoked, I didn't like secondhand smoke. Yeah. You know? I like that first-hand smoke because you get to suck it right out of the cigarette, you know? And the secondhand... Any fucking thing that's already been ingested by someone is not as good, you know? You know what I mean? Like a pork sandwich is delicious, but after a digested pork sandwich, that's fucking shit. You know?
You can't fight that logic, Norman. You cannot. Do you think advertising brings kids to smoking? You know, there's a lot of fight with the Joe Camel thing. Do you think they really?
Yeah, definitely they got it. Because the thing is this. The advertisers, they got to go after kids because they're not going to get adults. Like, there's not going to be a 50-year-old guy going, hey, I should start smoking. That goddamn Camel. Look at him. They got to get little children.
Joe Camel.
Yeah.
That's a frightening-looking beast.
He looks like a cock. I read it. I didn't make this up.
And I know you don't mind first-hand cock, but...
You don't know that. Don't say that. I know how this stuff happens, man. Because a buddy of mine worked on Saturday Night Live, and he said he was a fag once as a joke. And then he said everybody comes up to him saying, "Are you a fag?" Gay man, I mean.
Show about smoking. They thought you meant the British word for cigarette. All right.
Exactly. Can I bum a fag? That's what they say in England.
Where else? All right.
The thing about Joe Camel looking like a cock, Dennis.
I lost my train of thought. Thanks for bringing me back.
This is what I've noticed. He doesn't even look like a fucking camel. He looks so much like a cock. Because you know how it's usually subliminal?
Yeah.
Where you have to find the cock, right? This character, you have to find the goddamn camel.
Yeah, believe me, when you only get 2 humps out of a cock, it's not worth smoking. All right, now, line 2, we got a phone call for you. Although I can't believe they'd still be on the line after this departure. Line 2, we've got Beverly from Middletown, Ohio. Beverly?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. Hi, Norm.
Hi, you didn't know my name, I don't think.
Yes, I did. I watched Saturday Night.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I liked it when Dennis was on it.
Yeah, I do too. I watch Dennis every Friday.
Get out of here. You're great at that, man. You're great at this. You know why? Because you don't give a shit about Dennis. You know what I mean? It's like the best thing you can do. Whenever I'd go on, they'd go, "What's it like following Chevy?" And I like Chevy. He makes me laugh. I mean, what the fuck do I think about Chevy? I'm trying to make a living here.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I see you, I know you're thinking the same thing. Like, screw Dennis. I'm killing. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, since nicotine is such an addictive drug, do you think someday you'll have to have a prescription to buy a pack of cigarettes?
Well, you know, they always bring up the Constitution and talk about how we should still have the right to a militia and all that. But let's face facts, this country was built on tobacco growers. So, you know, if you're going to start changing, if you're not going to change one thing because it comes from way back then, you can't change this either. There are farmers out there who make a living. Tobacco is one of the crops that got this country going. So, no, I don't think they'll ever make it illegal.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't make it illegal. I know.
I think Norm's backing me up on that. What motivated you to quit?
Well, I guess I read this thing about how it was like a phallic symbol, and my doctor went in. He said, "You probably have an oral fixation," which you know what that means. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So that's why I always smoke like cigarettes instead of cigars, because if I'm going to have I like a little white thin cock, you know?
Are we back to cocks again? I go away to Ohio, Middletown, the center of the universe, to take a nice clean call, and then I space out. I'm thinking, I can't listen to Norm for a second. I got to get a time cue here. I come back, and you're talking about having a thin white cock in your...
I don't have a thin white cock. In my cock, you mean?
No.
In my mouth. No, you misunderstand. What I'm saying is this. I'm just saying...
Don't make the mistake of thinking I fucking listen to you.
I just want to make it clear about that cock thing. I was just saying, if I ever was gay, if they like suddenly made it mandatory or something, then I would choose the smallest cock, and I would like a guy that came fast. I don't know. I thought the subject was cocks.
No, cocks is next week.
I'm sorry. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around.
Luckily, we have the good taste to bring tonight's guest back. Every season, he is as uncensored a wit as they come. His new sitcom, The Norm Show, is on ABC Wednesdays at 9:30. Please welcome George Wendt, ladies and gentlemen.
They thought they were getting...
Georgie Wendt!
Well, they just... How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Year in, year out, my favorite guest.
All right, you're a good man.
Because you have no inner barometer of how far to go.
Well, no, because it's HBO. I like to be dirty, you know, and it's fun.
You know what you are? You're like a profane child. That's how I think of you, because you always say, I like to be dirty. Then you go up on this Pynchon-esque cock rant for like 3 minutes. Yeah, cocks are ugly, and Joe Campbell's a cock, and you're always shuffling your feet. What are you nervous about? You're a star, for Christ's sake. How's that sitcom world? Is that hell, or do you like that over there?
It's not a lot of fun, but, you know, it's good to do.
No, it's not on Ohlmeyer's. Has Ohlmeyer sent you a congratulatory telegram, or what word am I looking for there?
Ohlmeyer, I haven't heard any missive, I think.
Who's the Ohlmeyer at your network?
This lady, Jamie Tarsis.
She think you're funny?
Yeah.
Ohlmeyer's not even there anymore, isn't it? Isn't one of his last official duties to whack you?
Yeah. He took off, and they got this other guy, I think it's maybe Sammy Sosa.
Scott Sassa.
Scott Sassa.
All right, now I want to do a Rorschach thing. What flashes into your mind when I say bad taste? What do you find bad taste?
Well, there was this performance art guy, I remember in New York, that his whole big thing was he'd take a picture of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and then...
Oh, that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then his whole act is he'd piss on it with his cock.
Wow, you know, at least he showed respect. He could have pissed with his, what, arm?
You're right. So I thought that was really and horribly bad.
That's over the line, as far as...
Yeah, because Jesus Christ, you know, he died for the guy's sin, and then the guy pisses on his picture. And it was a picture of Jesus dying for his sins. Like he was on the cross going, oh, I'm dying for the guy's sins. And then this guy's like pissing all over it. But, you know, when Judgment Day comes, he's going to have to face Jesus Christ of Almighty of Nazareth, you know.
And Jesus is going to say, hey, asshole, what's with the peeing on my picture?
Yeah. That negates every other good thing he ever did, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't piss on my picture.
Yeah. You don't want to come up to the gates of heaven, God's leaning there with a nunchuck strapped around his neck, you know. How do you
go, I'll have some performance art for you while the fucking devil shoves some coal up your ass.
As I said before, the childlike outro. But effective. How do you define bad taste? Is it like beauty? Is it in the eye of the beholder, or what?
Yeah, it kind of is. You know, it depends on what people... Some people, like, get all upset over certain words, like... They think that, like, girls all the time, man, when I'm talking to them, like, if I go, hey, how about you and I, like, fuck, you know? and then the girl always goes, like, I don't fuck, I make love. I make love. And I go, I don't care, whatever you want to call, as long as my dirty cock's involved, you know? I don't care. I'm not going to not going to get in a semantic argument. You know, you can call it making a grilled cheese sandwich as long as there's a lot of me doing that
kind of thing. Now, what's the earliest into hitting on a woman that you've ever said, I want to fuck you? Like you give it a couple minutes, right?
I try to get into it pretty quick.
So that trump card down. No, if you're in the game.
I don't, because I don't like. I don't ever ask them to. Would you like to have dinner? I don't really like having dinner with them, or having a drink with them, or anything like that.
No.
You know.
So that's your sort of exchange with women is.
Yeah, I say, hey, how about you and me fuck? And then they go, no. And then they go, how about we have dinner? And I go, I don't like dinner. You don't like fucking.
So it's a pretty basic thing you have with them. Kind of a basic exchange.
I'm not good with it.
Now, Norm, have you ever done anything in your long and storied career that you consider specifically to be in bad taste as you look back on it? Maybe at the time you thought it was a good play, but you look back on it and you think that was in bad taste.
Well, sometimes, like in stand-up, I'll do jokes that are like one time I was doing this thing in San Francisco, and they were all gay people in the audience. They told me, so I figured I'd
in San Francisco?
Yeah.
No.
So I figured I'd do stuff about gay people so that they could relate to it.
Yeah, it's warm up. They love that.
And so I was talking about, because I went to this gay pride parade, and I saw in it there were these old men and old ladies like with these signs that said, "We are proud of our gay son," you know. And so I was saying that's an odd thing to be proud of, you know, because it's not an achievement, you know. It's not like something you work all your life to be gay or anything like that. And I just wondered. I had a hard time believing that these 50, 60-year-old men are actually bragging, you know, at work like they're, "Hey, Bill, you know, my kid, oh my God, we're proud of him, Johnny. He graduated from Harvard, you know, first in his class, you know what I mean? And now he's articling over at a law firm, and, oh yeah, he loves cock." You know? This kid, he can't get enough cock in his mouth, his ass, his kid's always cock. I got a picture of the boy here sucking another man's cock. I want to show it to you.
What do you do with your son?
I play with him.
You do. How old is he now?
How old is this young man?
He's 15 years old.
15 years
You're
old.
still playing with him.
Right.
You know, it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
When he was a very young boy, you know, when he was like 3, 4, or something like that, I would play games with him. You know, like we'd play basketball or something.
Sure.
And I'd let him win.
Right.
You know. And now he can beat me at everything. And so he's like, "Hey, man, I always beat you at everything." I said, "No, fuck, I used to let you win." You go, "Fuck, he doesn't believe it."
He always beat you.
Yeah, so he just thinks I'm some retard that can't beat a fucking infant. Well, it's
albeit a bad one, but nevertheless.
Just sad. It was all happening in Canada, you know.
Canada.
You know,
You can't talk about it because it happened in Canada?
No, I'm saying,
you know what happens in Canada stays in Canada. But seriously, what led to
Hey, you
you?
want to hear a joke from my act?
Yes. I do.
He must have done something really bad.
No, it's about that whatever happened in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Go ahead. Yeah, I want to hear.
You know that fucking whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
So actually, it doesn't really stay. Like you can't. It's not like you can kill a person and then leave Vegas and everything's cool. You know what I mean? So what I did was I looked at that phrase. What it actually means is basically you can go to Vegas, fuck a prostitute, and then she will not tell your wife.
Right. That's exactly
what they're saying.
You're saying
not like those gossipy small town whores.
You're saying
back to where you come from. I'm saying back at home, they're blabbermouths.
You're saying, in other words,
they're sitting in the beauty parlor going, "Oh, you're married to Hank Johnson? I fucking shit on his face last night."
In other words,
it's a small world.
There are certain people who literally.
What did Gilbert do? I read in the computer that Gilbert said something back at Affleck or something.
Well, I don't. You know, Gilbert is not the type to apologize for anything he says, but I think it cost him a lot of money. The Affleck gig was easy. Once a year he goes in, acts like a duck, and he makes a ton of dough.
And he doesn't even have to say anything but Affleck.
Hey, you're right, Affleck. So you know, he didn't know Affleck, I guess, has 75% of their business in Japan. And they got a bit offended by what was going on. So
I did an audition for it.
Did you really?
Did you?
It seems like everyone is being auditioned
Now,
for the
what
Affleck
did you do? Did you try to sound like Gilbert, or did you try to change the duck?
They said I went. I have only been on like 5 auditions in my life, and everyone's been a fucking nightmare.
You don't strike me as an auditioning kind of guy.
I'm the worst fucking ever. So I go in, and then the woman goes like, I just thought I'd have to say Affleck once.
Right, that's easy.
So she goes, "Listen, I want you to create a story. Like, that's what I want you to do. Like, you just think of the duck, be quizzical and funny, and then sarcastic, and then serious, and then sexy." And she goes, "Just create a story. Have fun." They all say, "Fucking have fun with it."
No, this is my work. There's no fun here.
So then, like, 3 seconds in, I'm like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I ain't gonna be the fucking duck. So she left, and then there's just me and a guy with a hat. So I said, "Listen, man, I'll just say Affleck and get get the fuck out of here. Because, you know, I only got so many fucking moments in my life.
Right. You got a life to live.
Yeah, so have you ever been in that situation? You've never have been because you have complete freedom. But it's me, a guy with a hat. He's telling me how to say Affleck. I'm saying Affleck. I'm going, I don't have that many years left.
It dawned on you that this is actual.
This is time.
Like if a doctor told you had 3 weeks to live, you'd say, God, I'm spending too much time here.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you go to psychiatrist?
Yeah. Do you go to psychiatrist?
I went for 4 times.
I could see you'd be difficult.
I started making up shit.
Right.
And it was like
routines.
bad.
Did you feel
Not
you had to be
routines, but I'd exaggerate things. And then I go, well, no, it wasn't that bad. Like, you know.
So it was hard for you to take yourself seriously in therapy.
The first time I went was here in New York, man. I went to a fucking apartment. It was in an apartment.
Is this during Saturday Night Live years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I was fucking addicted to gambling and shit, so that's why I went. But anyways, I go to this.
You're not addicted anymore to that?
You went and got cured?
I got cured.
Yeah, look at him. He's cured. He's only gambling $100,000 a hand now.
So the lady. So it's a lady. It was a lady.
Yeah.
A lady psychiatrist.
Yes.
Attractive?
No.
Thank God.
Man.
You're
like
such a seductress. I could see you.
Like the things at the bottom of the fish tank?
Yeah.
Like
the
that.
Sucking fish?
Yeah, she looked like that. But she was a nice lady.
Like a flounder.
And smart from the universities and shit, right?
Right. Did someone recommend you? Someone from Lorne Michaels say this
Somebody said go to this lady. So I go in, right? And I never been to no psychiatrist. So she starts asking me questions. And I'm making little jokes and shit, right? Everything she's asking. So she says, enough with the fucking jokes. What's that shit, right? Don't do jokes.
Right, take it seriously.
What, you know, you're talking about your father and stuff, and you're making jokes.
Right.
Like, say really what it is. So I go, I never did that in my life, right? So I'm like, all right. So then I'm talking. So then cut to fucking 25 minutes later, tears streaming down my eyes. I'm fucking like a fucking little fag baby, right? I don't know if babies are fags. I don't know. But I'm crying and shit, right? And then she's like, okay, time's up. Beat it. Yeah. So I'm like, whoa. I go, no, please. I go, I'll pay you more. Just I have to stay here, right? And she's like, there's another lady. Get out, you know. So I'm like, ah. So then I walk out in the cold New York, you know, with the hot dog vendors. They don't give a fuck about you. Tears. And I go through Central Park shaking. And here's a story about Rodney, man. He was fucking guy. Kept doing coke and shit, even when, you know, you get scared at some point. You stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
Most humans.
Not him.
This fucker, 80, whatever he was, doing all kinds of shit. Saga told me the story, right? So he's in the hospital, and he's got a fucking brain tumor that's going to cause a heart attack, all this crazy shit, right?
Right.
So everybody's worried about him. Just leaves the hospital 2 days later, right?
Walks out on his own.
Yeah, so he's in the comedy store with 2 hookers, and he's waiting for Ron Jeremy to show up.
Oh my goodness!
So this is 2 days later.
Yeah.
So Saget told me he walked in, he was like completely shocked. He said, "Rodney, how you doing, man? Well, what's going on?" He goes, "How are you doing?" And Rodney goes, "How am I doing?" He goes, "I'm sitting here with 2 whores waiting for a guy who can suck his own dick. How you doing?"
Still very quick.
Yeah.
He was a genuine character. I know guys who went into meetings with him about a movie.
Yeah.
He'd show up late in a bathrobe with his balls hanging out.
Yeah.
And like legendary stories of it. You talk about not giving a fuck. You worship that. You want to be that guy who doesn't give a fuck, right?
I met Rodney, man, when I was fucking, I made the worst mistake ever, which I was in the fucking hotel, and I loved Rodney and shit. I didn't know him. And I was coming down in the casino. I was coming down the fucking elevator, and Rodney was in the elevator. I'm like, oh my God, it's Rodney. I gotta say something to him. So anyways, I'd worked on some stupid fucking thing with this director who said he worked with Rodney.
Yeah.
So I used that as a thing, right? So I go, hey, Rodney. I go, we have a common friend. He goes, who's that? I go, you know, Paul Johnson. He goes, that cocksucker. He goes, that fucker's no friend. And there's a full elevator. That fucker's no friend of mine. You tell him he can suck my dick. I'm like, oh, I'm not his friend. I'm not his friend.
And you know, you hear these stories that Rodney was sort of a bitter guy because he made it late in life and all that. But yet he was a sweet guy because
he helped everybody.
I mean, he did something for me that I'll never forget. Like I appeared on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno back when I would work with that scumbag. Yeah. I'm just fucking. He's a great guy. Anyway, I went on the Tonight Show, and Rodney called me at my house. Now, I didn't know Rodney. And he just says, hey, Howard, I just want to tell you, you know, when I used to do shows, no one ever called me. No one ever said I did good. I knew what you were doing up there. You were great. You were doing a great
that's
job,
cool.
and I was like, wow, Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, because he's the guy. You know, if he thinks you did okay, I must have done okay.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, what a tremendous, nice thing to do for somebody.
Unbelievable. Well, I met him when I was on Saturday Night Live because he came and did, you know, when I did Update, he came and did some jokes on his 75th birthday. So we have to do dress first at 8:30 and then at 11:30 the show, you know?
Right.
So he comes and he's like, hey, Norm, I got to fucking talk to you, you know? So I go in and I'm like, Mr. Dangerfield, it's great to meet you. That's the first time I ever met him. He goes, listen, man. He goes, what the fuck, man? Why am I doing it at 8:30, you know? It's I know my fucking jokes. I'll just come back at 11:30. I go, I don't know how it works, Rodney. You got to do it. He goes, God damn. He goes, let me tell you something, kid. This was his advice to me.
Kid.
He goes, let me tell you something, kid. He goes, this fucking TV shit, you know? He goes, this waiting around all the fucking time. It's a bunch of all shit. You know, it's shit. He goes, it's the same with fucking movies, you know? You're in the movie, and then you're in the fucking trailer all the time. That's all you're doing is fucking jerking off in the trailer, you know? He goes, it's all shit, kid. He goes, remember this and remember it forever. Stand up, man. That's all there is. Stand up.
And he meant it.
Then there's a fucking, 5-minute pause. He's looking me right in the eyes. He goes, stand up, shit.
He forgot. It's all shit.
Okay, well.
A negative guy. Yeah.
I'll tell you the time I went to fucking, you know, this guy Milos Forman.
Yeah, he's a big director.
So he saw me on Saturday Night Live, so he got the idea I was smart.
I always thought that.
Everybody always thought that.
Because I'm reading the news and shit like that. So he's come to we go out to eat at Nobu and shit, right? And so I go with him. So it's me, him, and two guys from two foreigners.
Right.
And so these guys know everything, you know? And so they're like, what about the situation in the Balkans or something like that?
Yeah, you're the newsman.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting there like a retard. They know everything, right?
Right. They're concerned.
Yeah.
Right.
So he thought, and I just kind of play along like by repeating what they'd said 3 sentences ago.
Right, yeah.
And so anyways, he goes, I put you in the movie, man. I need a guy to... And he was going to give me a big part.
Right.
So I was like, no, don't do that. Like, I can't act. And he's like, don't worry about it. I go, seriously, Milos, I don't want you to give me a big part. So he's like, what do you want? I go, just give me a small part. That'd be cool. So he made me a reporter, right, in this People versus Larry Flint.
Right,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. I played one of the people.
Right.
So
originally, I think it sounds like you were about to be Larry Flint. Right.
Oh my God.
Bam, Larry Flint.
I have stories about that fucker too.
Yeah.
But we go to we do the movie, right? And I'm a reporter, you know. So he goes, you drive up and get out of the car and run in. I go, well, I can't drive. He goes, oh. So he goes, okay, a cab will drive you. So it doesn't make sense, like a reporter's in a cab. So I get to, so we do the scene. It's me and Larry Flint, you know, me and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
So, he has all these cameras. He goes, okay, he goes, you don't have to worry too much about the script. Just, he's a really cool guy. And he goes, just whenever you're ready, do it, So then, anyways, Woody Harrelson's really cool. And fucking actors, man, when they're really good, it's like something different.
Right.
And because I'm just waiting for the other fucker to stop talking and hope to God I remember
You're
my
not even
line.
paying attention.
No, I'm just hoping to remember my words. So anyways, fucking what's his name? Woody Harrelson asked me if I want a beer,
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you want a beer? I go, no, it's cool. I don't drink, He goes, you don't want a beer? I go, no, I don't drink, but thanks, man. And then I go, you drink? Like, I thought you just smoke weed and all that shit. And then all of a sudden, Milos Forman goes, "Cut! What the fuck is going on?" Like we were in the movie.
You didn't know.
No.
You thought he was talking to you.
Because he was looking at me and talking like a regular person.
Oy vey.
There was nothing fake about it.
You got caught up in the movie.
He was such a good actor.
You said you'd rather play Frogger than have sex.
Oh yeah, well you have to know Frogger, it's a game. It's an arcade game where a little frog has to go across the river.
Yeah.
And they have like little logs that he has to, and sometimes the log's a crocodile and tries to eat him.
You're like totally into that?
Yeah, I like a lot of things better than sex. I don't care for sex that much.
See, that's the thing with me too, because I'm totally bored. I don't have any. What's the matter?
Yeah. It hasn't gotten better over the centuries, It's always the same thing. It's very, I had sex when I was young, man, and then I had it for a while, and then I realized it's kind of always the same thing, There's only a few things you can do. You can go like this and then over. You know what I mean? You go, I'll do this for a while and then...
Do you think that we're being drugged by the government to lose interest in sex?
Oh, no, I just think it's a thing that, like, you know, when people go, hey, you know, that guy's he's good in bed, you know? And to me, like, how hard is it? You know? It's not like if you're good in badminton or something, you know, that's a hard thing, badminton. You gotta, and Frogger, you know? But, sex, you can figure it out in like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, and like goats do it and stuff. You know, like goats and pigs and stuff all do it, so how special can it be?
Exactly. Show me a goat that can get past the 3rd level of frog.
That's right, Nora. That's right.
The writers write it, and then you say it, so then if it's not funny, the audience hates you, you know?
Right, that's exactly why you have to be so mean to writers.
Right. Like the audience is going to watch the Roseanne show and go, oh, that dirty Bruce Rasmussen, he's not funny at all. Right?
They don't get that. Yeah. The writers don't get that. It's your ass out there. They go like, no, it is funny. I'd be like, I don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote it and I say it's funny. Well, then you go out there and say it. They want they kind of want a robot that'll just say anything.
Yeah, but they're good people, the writers, you know. I have to go back and talk to them after the show.
Yeah, remember when I used to make y'all wear numbers?
Yeah. Yeah, Roseanne made us all wear numbers on our shirts so she wouldn't have to speak to us as human beings. So, you know, she'd say, hey, just number 9. And actually, we have some writers on this show that worked at Roseanne, your show.
Yeah, so...
We have 3 and 8.
Are they any good? I remember those guys. Are they any good now?
Oh, yeah, they're great. They're great.
So...
Yeah.
I know that the guy that used to write the, what do you call it, in Hustler magazine...
What?
He used to write the jokes, the captions under the comics in Hustler magazine.
Where is he?
He's the one that created your show.
He is?
He's the most talented. Yeah, he's the most talented of all of them. He also did Drew Carey. He's the most talented number I ever had on that show.
Yeah.
And I wish him the best.
Yeah,
and
he's Bruce Halford. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, he started out at Hustler magazine.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Those things were hysterical. He never told me that. You mean like the really dirty cartoons with the blood and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have those captions. They were funny.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
That one time I had a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And because they told me I should go see a psychiatrist. I didn't want to go see one or anything like that. But so I go to see this dude, the psychiatrist, and I'm talking to the guy, and I couldn't think of any problems or anything that I had. You know, I was just like, guy I'm working with is kind of a troublemaker, you know, and the boss is always... So I'm just like, I had nothing to say, and the guy's like sitting there, you know. So then I go to the guy twice, right? And then I'm reading the paper. The guy kills himself.
Really?
Yeah, he killed himself. And then I was reading his horrible life, like he was on all these drugs, and he was one of those guys that like to hang themselves there to have sex, and all this weird stuff. Anyway.
Oh, my God!
Yeah. And then I just kept thinking, good God, like the last week of his life, he was listening to my boring problems, you know? He's all troubled, and I'm going, anyways, the guy, you know, I don't think he respects me, my boss, you know?
That's kind of, did like that, how deeply did that frighten you? When you read it in the paper that he killed himself.
Yeah, I don't like hearing about guys killing themselves.
That's really scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially a psychiatrist, you figure they got it all going on in their head, right?
Yeah. And then, like, when you find out they're crazier than you.
Yeah. I don't like that. Because I don't like those psychiatrists, too. I'm always afraid, like, that, you know, they get you under their spell there.
Yeah,
and then,
they do.
And then you don't have anybody else. You only trust the guy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, first thing he does has sex with you.
That's right. Yeah, the first, it's like a cult. It's a horrifying cult, I think.
Same with hypnotists. Like, I always think if a hypnotist is going to hypnotize you, he should say right before, I promise I will not have sex with you, you know, while you're under, because, you know, I want to give up smoking, but at the same time. I brought some pizza.
Oh, boy. I love this pizza.
Yeah, it's pizza.
Dairy pizza. Oh my God, look it.
It's kosher pizza.
It's so good too.
Because you're Jewish.
That's right. I just want to be able to eat pepperoni that's made out of veal or something. I love that.
You'll go to hell.
What, if I eat pepperoni with pork?
Yeah, because you're Jewish.
Will that make me go to hell?
Yeah, isn't that the whole idea?
Go to hell?
You know, I'm Christian. I can eat any kind of pizza and not go to hell.
For eating it either.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't go to hell.
Well, they don't specifically mention pizza in the Old Testament, but it's
But they do mention pepperoni.
Yeah. This pizza
But
here.
it doesn't say you'll go to hell. It just says, you never know where,
You might want to avoid this piece. Actually has hooves on it. You want to eat that? And I said, listen, man, because I kept hearing these things about how old people always have sex.
Yeah.
So I said to my grandmother, grandfather, you still have sex with my grandmother? He was like, good Lord, no. And then he was explaining it to me. He was like, because in his own head, he thinks he's like a young dude.
Yeah.
You know? And so he says, like, when you get old, it's not like all of a sudden your taste change where you go, hey, that wrinkly old lady looks good.
He told you that?
Yeah.
Wow. He said that people still look good when they're in their 20s to, like, real old guys?
Yeah, yeah. Because he said whenever he looked in the mirror, he was always shocked because he thought he was like a doughboy back in the First World War. You know? He thought he was a handsome dude. And even if he did know he was ugly, he still was not attracted to the old bags.
Norm MacDonald is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Great to see you, Norm.
Hey, Adam. Hey,
Teresa.
Hi, Norm. How you doing?
Norm's going to be at the Bray Improv tomorrow. That is Thursday through Sunday. 2 shows on Friday and Saturday. Feels like a tall order for Norm MacDonald.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a donkey ride to heaven.
Sure will be. Hey, Norm, I don't know if you can remember this story, but somebody, I think, told it to me about you gambling, coming in late, and calling for a wake-up call that was probably just a few minutes after you went to bed. Do you remember that story?
Yes.
How did that story go? I remember laughing hysterically, but I don't remember all the details.
It was back when I was drinking, and I was really drinking a lot. And I was gambling and everything, and then I went up to the room and I said, I phoned down to the, I'm trying to remember, I phoned back down to the front desk and I said, listen, give me a wake-up call for 6 o'clock. And I was like, oh, it's 5 to 6. And I said, I better let you go, you'll be dialing soon.
Norm, it's like Ty Pennington got to your head and made you over. The last time I saw you, you had a gray beard.
Oh, yeah.
You really...
Why did you say I was sober? I don't drink.
Wow. You don't drink?
I don't drink and I don't do drugs, but it's an odd thing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't do anything.
Hold on,
You've never been a drinker?
Oh, I have in the past when I was a young boy, but I get scared, like, when you're young, do anything, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you don't think you're going to die, so when I was young, people just hand me pills, I'd eat them, and then I got older, and I was like, God damn, man, I'm going to die, I'm not going to do nothing.
Right.
So,
but you still gamble. That's a vice, right?
It's a vice, but it's not life-threatening in any way.
Right, unless your bookie kills you.
Right. It's quality of life-threatening, arguably.
I'll tell you something, bookies don't really kill you.
They don't. They want their money back.
They want to make a deal.
Norm...
I had a bookie take all my money, and because I won so much, and then my buddy's like, oh, man, you got to break his leg and stuff, right? And I'm like, what? I'm already out all this money. I'm not going to...
Yeah, you won a bet. What was it, like $100,000 or something?
Yeah,
and he just
money.
didn't pay off.
Now, what were you betting on? Were you betting on football? What was
football mostly, yeah. But it became crazy where it was like basketball every single day.
So, Norm, you have not had a drink in how long?
Well, first of all, I'm not an alcoholic.
That's
so I don't count
the first thing alcoholics say.
No, alcoholics count the days. They know how long it's been.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll go to a party, a guy will go, hey, what do you want to drink? I go, just give me a water. And then they'll go, are you alcoholic? And I'm like, no, man, you're the guys that are drinking.
Right.
You know, I want a water. And they go, oh, yeah, no, we understand.
So you don't...
All right, I'll drink.
So you don't...
I'll get drunk out of my mind and barf all over myself if it'll take away the stigma of being an alcoholic. But I knew a friend, man, that some guys can get any women they want, you know? And I'm sure you know the type, you know. It's not like they're incredibly handsome or anything, but just somehow they have something about them. And my buddy Bill, this guy could get any lady. I'm telling you, literally had sex with a different woman every night. I asked him, I said, what's your secret, you know? He said, I'm a serial rapist. Stop. Did
you say that on The View the other day when you were on The View?
I didn't go on The View. They don't want me on there.
I thought you were on The View.
No, they don't like me anymore.
Why won't they have you?
Well, one time they wanted me to go on The View, right? So I was like up all night, like for a long time, because I was in my gambling days and stuff like that. And so the guy kept phoning me, the producer of The View, you know?
Yeah,
and,
Bill Geddes.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. And so he kept having ideas, like funny ideas I could do, you know?
Right.
Like they have those guys. You know?
Right.
So
here's a funny idea. Let's not talk about rape. Like ideas like that. No, it's fine with me. It's just funny. It strikes me with Norm and with me sometimes you talk to producers about funny ideas maybe you shouldn't be doing.
Oh, they do that a lot.
More do-nots than do's.
Yeah, they do that. They go, hey, don't swear on The View like you're going to swear. Like
right.
You're that retarded.
Here's an idea for your segment. Don't use the N-word.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? How did you end up offending?
So anyways, the guy kept following me with these crazy ideas. He'd go like, hey, why don't you come out with like a red wig on? And I'm like, why would I do that? And he goes, the gals are teasing Barbara about her new hair tint. I'm like, yeah, that seems all right. Because I'm trying to be nice. I have a hard time saying no, you know. So maybe. He goes, and then so finally I go, I'll think of something, you know. So and I'm at a poker table the whole time talking to him, and you know, because I used to play for like 72 hours straight, and so he keeps phone. He's like, I got it, man. He's like, you carry out a cell phone onto the show, right? And then he goes, halfway during the show, your cell phone rings, you know, and it's your agent Morty, you know. So you pick it up, you're like, hey, man, I'm on The View. This is no time to talk here, Morty. You know, he goes, Morty's not on the line. You just pretend, you know. Right. And, this is a terrible time, Morty. I'm on the TV, you know. So I go, oh, yeah, that sounds good, you know, with no intention of really doing it.
Right. Now, what time did you go to bed that night?
I didn't go to bed. So I'm driving to the stupid View, right? And I go, I had this story about Cosby. So I go, I'll do that story about meeting Bill Cosby, you know. So I show up and they put makeup on. I go, what are you going to talk about? I go, I'm cool, man. Just tell them, do you ever meet Bill Cosby? So as I'm walking in, the producer, unbeknownst to me, slips the cell phone in, you know. He goes, remember our bit? And I go, yeah.
You got out of the red wig, though.
Yeah, I know. I didn't have to do that. This is got to be a long story. But what happened was,
it's good, though. I
went on to The View. And, you know, they're supposed to just talk to you. Now, this was when, this was a long time, but this was when President Bush was, he wasn't the president, he was running for the presidency. Right?
Right.
So I don't know nothing about politics.
Right.
But Ben Stein had called me, and he said that, you know Ben Stein? So, you know, like, when Clinton came, like, there was like 10,000, like, Streisand and Schwarzenegger, everybody, you know, showed up. And then when Bush showed up, it was just me and Ben Stein.
He used to be a speechwriter for Nixon.
Yeah, that is a very sobering homecoming for Bush. Just Norm MacDonald and Ben Stein at the airport.
Good God. I got to talk to him for a half hour in the Air Force One. Anyway.
Wow.
The story is I go on The View, and as soon as I get on The View, I'm all tired and everything. I'm like, all right, ladies, what's going on in the news? Bill Cosby? What's going on? And so all of a sudden, they show a picture of me standing next to George Bush, who's running for presidency, and they go, hey, check this out. Whoa, Norm, like, you know, as if it was a picture of Kurt Waldheim standing beside Hitler in the woods or something, you know? And I'm like, they're like, what's this all about? You know, like I'm crazy.
Right.
And I go, I don't know. So just to get on their nerves, I go,
well, it's better than that last guy, Clinton. He murdered a guy. And so then Barbara Walters like went all crazy, and she's like, "What did you say, young man?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was a matter of public record. Like I just tried to get more." I go, "Didn't he murder a guy? I heard he murdered that Vince Foster guy, and they pretended it was a suicide or something." And I'm like, "Isn't that a matter of public record?" She's like, "Listen, you're treading on thin ice, mister." He should come out and call me mister. I'm like, "No, I thought he murdered a guy." I said it about 6 times, you know. So, and she's like, "What about Bill Cosby?"
To be fair to her, she thought you were Tim Meadows. To be fair to her.
So, anyways, and so the whole audience is all in shock and awe and everything. They don't know how to react to this, all craziness. And all of a sudden, like, my cell phone rings, right?
You got the bit, yeah.
The bit.
Morty's on the phone.
I'd forgotten about it. It was coming from the speakers. I didn't know what it was like that. And then it occurred to me, and I pull out the cell phone. I'm like, "Hey, Morty, hey, this is a terrible time to call, right?" So then Barbara Walters goes, "What are you doing?" You know? And I go, "I don't know. So that retard in the back told me to pretend that Morty was calling." And then she goes, she just stared at me for like 3 seconds. She goes, "You are one piece of work, mister." Wow. And that was the end of that.
Should have said it was Vince Foster calling from the beyond.
It's calling from hell. Says he'll see you soon. Norm's got a new CD out called Ridiculous. Norm, when we left off, we were talking about Bill Cosby and you never getting to tell your Bill Cosby story on The View, but you can certainly tell it here.
Oh, Bill Cosby? Well, I opened for Bill Cosby, and I was really excited, you know, because I'm a comedian, and he was like the first comedian I ever heard and everything, and I still love him, you know. And so I was real excited and everything, and and we're performing. Oh, my Lord, it was like an entire football field, right?
Well, where is it?
It was LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, it was Tulsa. It doesn't matter.
Right. You didn't have to correct yourself.
And so I get there, and it's an entire football field in a little tiny stage, and I have no way of knowing how to, you know. So I'm like, you know, anyone have an answering machine? And then you're just, they're just talking to each other.
Right.
Know? I have no idea of how to talk to this many people, you know, so they completely ignore me for the whole thing. But, you know, they don't hate me or anything. They just don't notice me.
They're ambivalent.
So I'm like, how on earth, you know? So I was interested in seeing how Bill Cosby would do it. So Bill Cosby lands in a helicopter like 10 minutes before, and he's wearing a sweatshirt, and I'm in a suit and everything, you know? And he says, "Why are you wearing the suit?" I said, "Oh, Bill Cosby." He goes, college. He talks like just in words. He doesn't use He goes, "College sweatshirt." And I'm like, okay.
Doing a Mad Lib.
Yeah. So he gets up, and so he's a guy's a genius. Just stand beside the lady. He's not nervous at all, of course, you know. He says, "Anything going on in the school?" She says, "Next week we play LSU, you know, we're Tulsa." He goes, "It's okay, fine." And then they introduce me, walks out, and he goes, "Tulsa!" And everybody screams, right? And then he goes, "LSU!" And everybody boos. And then he goes, "Tulsa!" And everybody screams louder. And he goes, "LSU!" Exactly. So he says it about 5 times, every time slower. And now they're going up and down like they're in a lather, you know?
Right.
And then he goes, "Next week I will be performing LSU, and I'll be doing that bit backwards." They all laugh. It's amazing. But anyways, afterwards, so I talked to him, and I go, "Oh, man, you're the best. You know, I listened to you as a kid and everything with my dad, like, was racist. But he loved you know. And I
it's the ultimate compliment.
It is. It tempered, like, his racism and stuff.
Yeah, it's like telling a cow that your mom's vegan, but was willing to eat just you.
Cow.
Yes. That's how much she loves you.
Yeah, if you want to compare an African-American to a cow, that would be a good analogy.
Well, you don't want to pick another animal, one that may climb a tree and eat bananas.
This is getting ugly. Let's...
All right, Norm, come on, reel it in.
So Cosby says to me, so I said, "Yeah, my dad loves you." He goes, "Where does your dad live?" I go, "Ottawa." So he turns to his agent, you know, whatever guy was with him. He goes, "Fred, am I not doing Ottawa?" So he looks on his thing, and he says, "Oh, yes, so Mr. Cosby, you're doing Ottawa in August." And he goes, Get me the man, get the man's father. He says, so now I'll get your father front row seat afterward. He'll come back to and talk with me, and I'll treat the man well. And I was like, oh, man, that's great. So he goes, get me a pen. The man needs a pen and a paper. Write down the phone number. And so I'm getting a pen and paper, and I realize my dad's dead, right? He's been dead like 10 years.
Well, 666 would be the area code.
He's a VIP.
Sorry, buddy.
So I go, oh, man, I don't want to now say my dad's dead and bring the whole conversation down.
Right, sure.
So I just write down 9 numbers, you know. Is it 9, 10? I know
You gave him a fake number for your dad.
He's a mathematical genius. Norm MacDonald, everybody.
I know the area code of where my dad lived. So anyways, I go, here you go. He'll enjoy it. He's alive, you know. The guy
he probably shouldn't have hit alive so hard.
Yeah, that's a tell.
So then, amazingly enough, first of all, this shows you how powerful people can find anybody, right? I was doing this lame thing on the Drew Carey show, and as a little guest star, you know. And the stage manager runs up. She goes, Bill Cosby's on the phone.
What? He tracked you down.
Yeah, he can find anybody.
How long after you'd seen him on the field at Tulsa?
3 months later. So I get on the phone, and it's Bill Cosby. He's like, I found the number. The man is not, it's different than your father. The man is different. And I phoned twice I phoned the same man. And so I'm like, keep lying. I go, I'm sure that's his number. I don't know what to do.
Norm, couldn't he have died in the interim? You could have said he just died.
Oh, man, that's
savvy.
That's fast. That's fast.
The more you know.
How to lie to Bill Cosby.
So anyways, I did actually tell that story, and I was at Saturday Night Live. I told that story on a talk show, and the next day, man, I went into my office at Saturday Night Live, and there was about 600, flowers, whole big things of flowers. The office was, packed with flowers. It was so, crazy. And finally, on one of the little flowers, there was a little note, and it said, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but your father has long since died, Bill Cosby.
Wow.
So he was funny. He went to all that trouble to make a joke.
Wow, what a guy.
Seems like a great guy.
Sweet, man.
Well, I'd be a bad pimp. You be my girl.
All right.
You two be my girls.
Yeah. All right.
I'll be a pimp. Okay, listen, girls, I got to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hey, Sir Magic Norm.
Listen, I don't you guys have had attitude against me.
Well, I just feel like you've been taking a lot of our money.
A lot of you have not been paying me.
What?
Huh? You know I have the knife. I know you guys have never seen it. But I'm the ones that found you at the bus stop and let you sleep on my couch.
Yeah, that wasn't much of an upgrade. Especially with your constant raping.
Futon.
Yeah.
Listen,
I've had a good night
that
of
was
sleep.
part of the deal. I thought that was the unspoken. But anyways, I want some of the money. Look, it doesn't have to be 90-10.
I don't know.
I understand the 90-10 was a little usurious on my part. But have a 50-50. You get to sleep here.
Cheryl, what do you think? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I really have a knife.
The cost of living for prostitutes
I'm starting to think you guys don't believe I have the knife.
I haven't seen your knife.
But you've heard stories.
Well, only from you.
That I cut that girl? That's a true story. I wasn't making that up.
I talked to Cindy.
Oh, you know you met Cindy?
Yeah, she said
she's a liar.
She said you never cut her.
She's a liar.
She got in a car accident. That's where the scar came from.
Yeah, she said you talked about the knife all the time, but she never saw the knife.
I could buy a knife.
That's what she said you said to her.
Yeah, I could buy a knife easy. I know people.
Oh, well, now you got to buy a knife?
I know people.
Hold on. You said you had a knife. You have a knife, but it's in a catalog?
I know people that could get me a knife illegally.
Well,
that couldn't even be traced. I'd stab you.
But it's like me saying I have a swimming pool, but it's at someone else's condo.
What, you used to be afraid of me.
I'm not. Well, you don't even have a knife. You just said you could buy a knife.
You used to be so afraid of me when I threatened you.
You said you'd beat me with a car antenna, but you don't even have a car. You drive a Geo Metro. That's not a pimp car.
You want to go to a bad guy?
I thought you were badass.
I've never hurt you.
But listen,
I've protected you from everybody.
Stepfather beat me, and
I've protected you. Haven't I protected you? Except for the two times. Except for the 2 times.
All right.
And those guys were big.
All right, but you promised to beat me, and that's why I was attracted to you, because of the history I have with my stepfather.
I know.
And the physical abuse.
I get uncomfortable, but I push you.
Yeah,
I don't treat you nice.
You pulling lint off my sweater's not a push.
I said the other night that your lasagna was undercooked.
Yeah, I know, but so I gave you, and then that's because I gave you a middle piece. When I gave you an end piece, you said it was delectable.
And that thing you do where you lick your finger to wipe the stains off our faces, we don't like that.
Yeah, we don't like the smudge thing.
I've become too close.
Look, we didn't get into this not to be beaten or threatened or to keep 90% of our booty.
How often do I mention the knife?
All right, and you reminding us to use condoms and to say thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you telling us we don't have to do what we don't want to do?
Yeah.
It's not helping our business.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to do any of this stuff. Listen, unless the guy's big, I'll protect you guys. If I can take the guy.
Remember when you invited us
I'm
to
not going to
stay
stab a
with
guy.
your knife?
I'm not going to stab. No, I'm not going to stab a guy.
Well, you invited us to stay at your.
Sometimes he's just doing weird stuff, but it's not that weird.
But let me say this: you working out of your mom's house is awkward. For both of us, okay?
Yeah.
And sure, she's a delight, and she makes a great
and
rum
nobody's
pudding.
mentioned anything, right? This is a complete secret.
Well, your mom. I mean, look. Let's. First off, you wearing Dockers and flip flops is no outfit for a pimp. We're gonna have to get you like made over. You drive a Geo Metro. You keep threatening your pimp hand, but you never laid a hand on either one of us. You're not verbally abusive. You're not physically abusive. I laid, by the way, the first 2 nights I spent on your mom's sofa. I slept with no underpants on, presenting. I wasn't raped once. You came by 2 times. You offered me milk when you went to the kitchen, and then another time you offered me postum. I don't even know what that is. You're just a bad pimp. Thank you.
The bad
pimp. And scene.
You know, Zuckerberg says he's only eating his own meat that he kills now. Have you read that?
With his bare hands.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg? The kid's a monster.
He tries to do one thing to alter his modern lifestyle every year. And this year he says he's only going to eat meat that he's actually killed. And I was wondering, what are you adhering to lately?
I'm a vegetarian, a strict vegetarian.
No, have you done that?
Well, I eat chicken.
Well, it's not all that
That's not vegetarian.
I'm not. I said I'm not strict. I eat chicken and
steaks
beef, pork. I ate raw game. Did you ever eat? It's not dead yet.
No, you're over
and you
there.
eat it, and as you're eating it, their death throes are making you hungrier.
There's nothing.
That's better than a soybean.
Yeah, you're right.
Which sounds better, that or soybean?
Listen, some of the best meals I've had is that Mongolian thing over at Dahmer's on Wednesday night. Literally, we ate a Mongolian.
Did I tell you I ate a live fish in real life?
No.
Yeah, I was at a sushi restaurant, and the guy's like Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go, I eat just sashimi, like raw fish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat with rice or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like trying to impress him. So he goes, eat raw, you eat live fish? I go, yeah. Even though I don't. And he goes,
never think he's going to call you on
yeah, and I go, plus it sounds kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I get you live fish. I go, thanks, man. Like I was an inside guy, and then he brought out a fish and hit it and knocked it out and put it on a stick. It was live. And that clears out a sushi bar. A lot of people, the girl I was in was barfing in a bathroom, and the only people interested was the guy, the Japanese sociopath guy, and all the Mexican help. They were all like looking like I'd eat it, and so I had to cut it. And then they leave the fish that's on the skeleton that looks like the one Sylvester found on a garbage thing. Mm-hmm. To move. It's moving and like a dead bobblehead, and you had to put water in its mouth to keep it alive so you could watch it die as you ate. It was a nice meal.
Jesus, I'm living such a hell life compared. I mean,
but anyways, here I am, a young lad auditioning for the Joan Rivers show when it was on.
Yeah.
It's the first time I ever came to the United States. Me and Howard Bus Gang.
Yeah.
And so me and Howard Busgang and Mario Cantone, Joan Rivers likes us all, you know. So we're at the Hyatt Regency, which is across from the Comedy Store, where we auditioned for Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
And it's me and Howard Busgang are in the room, you know, and Howard Busgang smoked marijuana at the time, you know.
Sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
You know? But he smoked marijuana, and I was watching.
Yeah.
And so I said, Howard, man, it's weird. You're just smoking marijuana all by yourself. Why don't you invite old Mario Cantone over, right? So he phones Mario Cantone's room. Mario Cantone goes, yeah, I'll come over. So he comes over like a minute later, all red-faced with his lover, right?
Yeah, okay.
He's also red-faced. They're drenched in sweat.
Okay, yeah. They've just been fornicating.
Yeah, they've been fornicating.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, we'll take some. So they take a quick, smoke this joint so that they'll enhance their orgasm later, right?
Right, sure, okay.
Then they give it back to poor Howard Busgang. And he's sitting there with this joint that has God knows what on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so Howard Busgang, in an effort to be politically correct, even though they're gone, smokes the joint and gets full-blown AIDS. No. I just made up that last part. No, Howard Busgang's a great guy. He's doing a show right now.
Wow, yeah.
In Canada.
Well, let's... Why are we talking about me here?
If I asked you if I said, Tom, would you give me $1 million if I cut off your leg? What would you say?
Wait, say that again.
If I offered you $1 million to cut off your leg, would you accept?
If you offered me $1 million
to cut off your right leg?
No, I would not accept that.
If I offered you $1 million to cut off your left leg, would you accept?
No, but...
What about if I offered you $1 million to cut off both of your arms?
No,
would you accept? You would not accept?
No.
So you're admitting to me that your arms and legs are worth more than $3 million. Then treat them like that. Treat them like that, for God's sakes. Treat them like that.
I would get $1 million each for each limb?
No.
Oh, because I would take that. I'd take $3 million for 2 arms and a leg. I'd do that. I'd take $3 million for 2 arms and a leg, but not $1 million for 1 leg. No, I could use $3 million. I'd sit around and watch TV all day. Tap my fingers on my one good hand. I'd have the remote, right? Yeah. No, I don't.
You lose your cock too.
Yeah. What? How much for chopping the cock off? You never mentioned that.
That was implied.
I actually have questions here. I actually have some questions.
Oh, you got some questions?
Yeah. Let's.
I said no questions.
Really?
No. This is what I saw after the trial. This is how stupid jurors are. After the OJ trial, I see this big fat woman that was on there. Because you tend to think of jurors as wise or something. I don't know why, but you tend to think of them as wise people, jurors. Right. But afterwards, they interviewed this one woman that was a juror, big fat woman. Doesn't have anything to do with anything. I guess. Her weight, but she was huge.
Right.
And so
she was smart. She probably would have known to not eat so many cheeseburgers.
Exactly. Right. So this fat pig. No. So they're interviewing her, and they're asking her about the blood evidence because Darden talked about the blood evidence for 6 straight days.
Yeah.
He introduced all this blood evidence that showed that, it was 1 trillion to 1 that it wasn't OJ, So they say, well, say this woman, they say, well, what about the blood evidence? Yeah. So she goes, everybody got blood. She goes, if it don't fit, you must acquit.
Yep.
She remembered the rhyme.
Sure, the rhyming was what did it, I think.
A guy was telling me that, do you know the lawyer Jerry Spence? Are you familiar with that lawyer? He's from Colorado, and he wears a cowboy hat.
Wear cowboy hats all the time.
Fringe. He wears fringe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently in the closing arguments, you can say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're not bound by anything. So, I know this guy worked at a law firm, and he said every time Jerry Spence would be the defense, you know, he'd always get everybody off. And this is what he'd do. He'd say, no matter what the facts of the case were, he'd say, he'd talk about the case, and he'd go, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, before I go, I'd like to tell you a story. And then the prosecution would go, objection! Then the judge would go, let him tell the fucking story. So then he'd tell the story, and this was the story. He would go, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'd like to tell you a story about a young boy, a precocious young boy, that went up to a very wise old man. And the boy held in his hand a bird. And he said to the wise old man, he said, you are the wisest man that I know. I have a bird in my hand, and I'm going to give you a puzzle. If you say A, you can say A or you can say B. If you say A, I will let the bird go, or I will crush the bird. If you say B, I will let the bird go, or I will crush the bird. What do you say, old man? A or B? And the old man thought about it, and the old man looked at the boy, and he said, son, the bird is in your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, the bird is in your hands. And he said, like 20 minutes later, they come back, innocent!
Sort of like a multi-purpose closing comment.
Yeah, it worked for everything.
Works every time.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so then the woman
formula.
that drowned her 14 children should get off because of the bird story.
Yeah.
I don't know how everyone else felt here, but Norm was sick for quite a while, and he got sicker, and I didn't know, and I talked to so many people who I was sure knew. I thought maybe I'm the only one that doesn't know, and so many people, he didn't want anybody to know.
I didn't know.
I remembered when he went, everybody in the community we all thought we were the only one that didn't know, and we were so upset that we didn't get a chance to tell him what he meant to us. And then I very quickly realized he would not have tolerated that. He didn't want it. He didn't want any of us to tell him.
He'd get gross.
He'd get very unhappy.
Treat him different or laugh at his jokes.
I'm sick of these kind of characters. I think we should kill Hitler. Me and you, go suicide, kill him.
Right. It was like he died 50 years ago, probably.
Did he? I didn't even know he was sick.
Did want to bring up Norm MacDonald first, if you don't mind, and your thoughts on somebody who I'm sure you've known for quite some time.
Well, I didn't know he was sick at all. It's sad.
And one of the guys who loved him and always had him on the show, is a huge fan, is Jay Leno. And Jay's with us. Jay, how are you, sir?
Good. I mean...
Horrible. I didn't even know he was sick. Were you aware of that?
Sudden.
No, I didn't know he was sick. You know, he kept it all inside.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was a private person.
And I had a really tough reaction to this one. I didn't have no idea he was even sick.
This guy is my favorite stand-up, and I was shocked. I didn't know he was even sick.
For obvious reasons, we lost Norm MacDonald this week, which was just, I had no idea that he was even sick.
Did you know he was sick?
No.
Absolutely stunned. Had no idea that Norm had not only been very ill, but been very ill for a very long time. None of us had any idea.
I'm used to say goodbye, nothing new to me. Baby, I'm trying to survive, and I know that you believe in a world with happy endings. So tired of pretending.
Joke after his death, it'd be something along the lines of, I was relieved to find out that I died of cancer and not that O.J. Simpson killed me.
Yep.
I think it would be kind of like the epitome of an afterlife joke from Norm there.
F. Lee Bailey said this week that if the defense only knew what Ron Goldman's last words were, they might be able to find the real killer. You know, if you ask me, Goldman's last words were probably, hey, you're O.J. Simpson.
Good evening, I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not even half halfway through the show. As you may recall, I was the original anchor on Weekend Update. It was back a long time ago. I mean, I was back when the only person in Betty Ford was Jerry. You know, really never anticipated that I would be forever known as the guy who did Update the best ever in the world.
Wait a second, babe. You only did one season. I did 6. I mean, you might have knocked her up, but I married her. I spent more time behind this desk than Kubrick did in the edit bay, spanking at the dailies from Eyes Wide Shut.
Hey, guys, man. I was just sitting at home watching the TV there.
Yeah.
And, like, is there something going on here tonight?
Norm, it's the 25th anniversary. Didn't you get the invitation?
Oh, yeah, the invitation. Yes, I got it. I got it in the mail. It was the one where they invited me.
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go to this party. There's a huge party over at Eddie Murphy's, and it's supposed to be pretty cool. He's making fun of the show. So,
oh, that's great, Norm. Which show, yours or this one?
No, this one.
Anyway, we're here to introduce some update features. So let's take a look back, won't you? The funny thing. I really only created Weekend Update so I could work without wearing my pants.
This is stupid, but on my phone, this guy, you'll laugh at this maybe. A lot of people get these pictures or tattoos, you know, like of me as Joe Dirt. You know, they send you, a lot of people get a lot of tattoos of stuff, like things you say or photos or whatever, or they send me ones of Farley or whatever. So this guy sends me one of, he's got Norm of all morons on his hand, Norm MacDonald. So I text Norm, I just send it to him. I go, hey, you have fans. And then I put in parentheses, fan. all we know is for sure this one guy. Uh-huh. And then of course, like days later, David, hello, it's me, Norm. How are you? Have you ever texted with Norm? It's
no, I haven't. No.
Times 1,000. He just goes, he waits days, and then at 3 a.m, hello? I go, Norm, what are you doing? Are you answering me from 4 days ago? Is that what you're doing? Dave, it's Norm. Do you like money? Yes, Norm, I like money. Why? Would you like to have more money than all your wildest dreams? Yes, I would. And then an hour later, would you like to walk into a dealership and point to a car and then just buy it? I go, of course. How? And then 3 hours later, bet the over in the Blackhawks game in the first quarter. First period or something. I go, oh, okay. Too bad that game was 6 days ago, you fucking idiot.
Now, David, let me ask you something. I understand that on this Here Comes the Funny tour, there's a group chat that you guys have engaged in. How's that going?
Well, obviously we all just make fun of each other, and Rob got a good one in on Adam, because Adam is not off limits. He really pretends to be one of the guys. And he says, hey, I'm fair game. But Rob goes, hey, Adam, you know, when you do the show, you should tape it, and then you see where the jokes don't work, and then take those jokes out of your act and put better ones in. He goes, that's what I do!
By the way, I just want to say about the private jet, sometimes Adam's nice enough to actually let us go up front where he sits. Which is
that's nice.
David Spade and I have had a hell of a time. Well, he's been a good man to me, I'll tell you that.
When we get home at night, we all get to this hotel, and then when we walk up, me and Norm are on the same floor, and then separate from Adam. And then we go up, and then Norm goes, hey, want to cruise in for a while? But I'm sort of the biggest puss in the tour. I always go to bed early. I go, nah, I'm going to crash and probably take a bath, just crash. He goes, you can you can take one here and we get some food. I'm like, no thanks, Cosby. I'm just going to sit. And he goes, no, come on in. He goes, we'll order food, we'll have some fun, we'll talk, play games. I go, I wish a chick would ever do this in my life. So I go, I'm just going to cruise. He goes, all right. And then the next thing he goes, he's with everyone. He goes, last night, Spade, I ordered all this food for him, and he blows me off. I go,
the biggest star. It's amazing how, like, some of your friends, like, seriously, like those guys who came out of Saturday Night Live, like Sandler, you, Chris Rock. There's a lot of guys who sort of all of a sudden are like real big players.
Yeah, Norm got his own TV show.
Norm's doing well. What?
What?
Do you hang out with Norm, or is it impossible?
It's pretty impossible because he's crazy.
He is.
In L.A., I call him and he goes, I go, what happened last week? I called you to go on. You called me? And I go, yeah. On my phone? I go, yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah, I got that. I go, well, you didn't call me back? No.
And he's serious.
Yeah, he's crazy.
And yeah, I know. Like, I have him on the show.
I love him, though. He's the funniest guy around. I think you need to be kind of crazy to be really funny.
He is very funny. I love him, too. And he has a gambling problem,
Yeah.
He was telling us how
secret,
he was all excited that he had $80,000. He won $80,000 in Vegas, but he had lost like $100,000 on basketball.
Right, and that's on nickel slots. That's how serious he is.
Did you always know he had a gambling problem?
Mm-hmm.
You did. When did you know that? At Saturday Night Live?
I first knew he had a pee in a bottle problem.
Right.
Remember that? You always talk about
Yeah, it's
that.
great.
And then I knew...
Does he still save his urine? Do you know?
I don't know. He used to put it in Ziploc baggies, sign it, and send it to fans.
Is that true?
No.
Oh.
But he did. He would take... After Saturday Night Live, they give you a car, a limousine, if you want to go to the party, and he would take it to Atlantic City.
Really?
He's a hard ass. He's hardcore, dude. I
know he'll even get into fist fights.
And then he'll stay at a table for hours and hours.
What do you think of that?
I feel lucky.
And then you don't even know if he's married or single. It's never really clear.
I don't know, but I know girls like him. He's when you're that something's that wrong, they pick up on it and like it.
They like the tragedy of that.
Fixer-upper, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna make him a regular guy.
Right, but it never worked.
So we get the
following Dennis is almost impossible.
Yeah.
And so I got it. This time it's me, Norm, and Dennis. I don't even know the order, but they're both hard to follow. They do great.
Norm has replaced Super Dave now as comedy's biggest enigma / beloved with all the other people.
Crazy man, yeah.
Yeah.
But he is always
Everyone
funny.
has 9 Norm stories. Even I have
Of
like 3
course.
Norm stories.
Someone said you had some connection to Norm. Do you?
He wrote for Grantland.
Oh.
We had mutual friends, and
That was it.
and he wanted to write a golf column about like golf gambling. I'm like, great. He did 4, and then we never heard from him
Disappeared,
again.
yeah.
Then saw him 2 years later. It was like, hey, I love doing that golf column. It's like
he's like, what happened? And you're like, here's what happened. You cut off the world.
Yeah, we emailed you repeatedly, and you didn't answer anything. But yeah,
Sound
it was
familiar?
classic.
That sounds about right. If we were in a court, I'd go, I can vouch for that story. I know nothing about it.
I believe your version.
But with me, I go, Norm. He goes, David, you want to have dinner?
Yeah.
And then I go, yeah. Me and you eating dinner and then talking about fun old times? Sure. How about tomorrow night? Yes. And then no word, doesn't follow up. And then 4 weeks later, 3 a.m, hello? And then 3:01. David, answer me. I go, Norm, I can't play this anymore because it's funny, but it's...
Letterman's love for Norm MacDonald is one of the most... I would watch a documentary about that, too.
Yeah,
He
by the
seems
way,
like he just appreciates and loves him the most, and I have no idea why.
I busted Norm wide open because that last Letterman,
Yeah.
he went on. This is how he got so solidified in.
Yeah.
So we have the same manager, me and Norm. So I go, hey, Gervitz. He goes, did you see Norm on Letterman last night? I go, no. I saw some chick bawling. Why, was Norm on too? And he goes, I'm going to tell him. I go, please do. I go, Norm, were you crying on Letterman? He goes, no, I got teary because I go, that's crying. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's tears are
And
crying.
he goes, no, because I love Letterman. I go, I know, but relax.
Right.
I go, we all go on there. We all love Letterman. And then I go, oh, guess who's producing your show? The tears paid off. Letterman, will you do my show? Remember me? I was crying. I'm like, what a baby alive cries real
Effective.
tears. I know. It's funny. But it's a good thing to bust his balls. Actually, I have to say, one of my favorite things I've done, and I haven't seen, is me on Norm's show on Netflix. It was probably a year or two ago, not a year ago, when he did his show. He had 10 episodes. I was the first one.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if I knew it was on Netflix. I didn't know. He said, David.
Yeah.
Our friendship's a total one-way street. Will you do me a favor? And then when you ask me for one, I'll disappear. I go, of course not. So I go, all right. So I go on this thing. And I'm sort of just shitting on it. I didn't know we started. We're just talking.
Yeah.
You know, like we were talking when I came in?
Right.
And then he goes, all right, no, he didn't say that. He goes, let's go to a commercial. And I go, oh, are we on? And we're going to a commercial? I go, no, we started. I had like a can of, LaCroix or something. I go, I can't have a can up here, can I? No one's even. I was talking to my assistant. I was just screwing off, waiting for because you just sit down. No one says a word. And it was funny. And I liked it. And then people would say, I like the show because, first of all, some would go, I love that you guys are great friends. Someone would say, are you guys even friends? Because it was such an oddball, weirdo thing that, and I didn't even let myself watch it because I go, I just like the idea of remembering it and going, it was weird. And then I would bust his balls about something, and then he would drop me about something and get on my ass. And then it was over. And I gave him another hard out, but I gave him 90. And he goes, I hear you have to leave after. And I go, you have to fucking continue life, you asshole. Who wants to sit here for 90 minutes and talk stupid shit? Anyway, I have 10 minutes of stories, Norm. And you want me here for 90. So 80 is going to be dead air. So,
all right. So your show is 11:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I feel this is a wrap up. It is, right?
Going over an hour.
Did I go over an hour?
Well, I could keep going, but I didn't. You complained earlier about when you're with somebody for 90 minutes.
I know. I'll complain after.
You can come back.
Oh, this is Norm. Are you on his show right now?
Norm.
No, I'll tell him I did this and get him mad.
I wrote 30 golf columns for him. No, it was really 4.
Do you like tweets that get 1 like? Come to my site. I go, you can't describe putting during, not describe putting. That's fine. But he just is a play-by-play announcer of a golf game.
It's the weirdest use of Twitter anyone's ever done, where he's like, good putt by Tiger.
I know. That's why you like him, though.
Great wedge by Koepka.
I go, ooh, go back 10. You got 3 likes on this one. But I go, it's only because no one can keep up with it. They're like, oh, I want to, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. Oh.
I feel like it's a bit on how dumb Twitter is.
Yeah, maybe he's just doing a long play.
Yeah, it's a 7-year
I can't wait till he's on the show, because we were saying, who should I put him with? And he goes, David, I love your show. He analyzes him. He's smart.
Yeah.
And he also goes, I like when sometimes it's comics that don't know. Oh, whatever. I won't say that. But he just says, David, I won't do any written stuff. Let's just do something. I go, of course. I go, what's written? We bring up a subject. Miley Cyrus makes out with that chick. She likes a little whisker biscuit now and then.
Right.
I go, just say whatever you want. That's all I do. I go, she eats at the soup kitchen. I go, just say whatever cracks you up. And he goes, yeah, she dines at the Y. And he goes, yeah, stuff like that. And then I go, well, when do you want to come on, crickets? And then 3 days later, great show last night. I want to sit with you. No one else around. You respect me, don't you? I will tell you the good and the bad of the show. And don't worry, it's mostly good. I go, great. Of course I want to hear what you think. You're good. David, do you understand? No one else can be there. It's me and you.
Oh, he doesn't want 2 other people.
No, just when he tells me.
Yeah.
Dinner. He goes, you're doing a lot of things right. And I want to confirm, because if you respect me, which I think you do, who cares what these other motherfuckers say? I'm going to tell you I like it, and that means it's good. I go, of course. Then he has to reiterate that 50 times. I go, when do you want dinner? Crickets. 9 days later. Hello? David, do you still have your phone? Yes, Norm. I just was asleep at 3 a.m. like the rest of the planet.
Do you think there should be a podcast of just people discussing their experiences and friendships with Norm MacDonald?
Everyone loves Norm because it's too
Everyone loves Norm. That's the name of the title.
It's too interesting because
this is what
you don't know how much is an act, what's not, but he does get you, and he doesn't want to drive. And then I go, because he lives like a marina, I go, no one wants to come get you in the marina. No one's going to the marina for anything at 6 o'clock. If you want to go eat, and then Uber came, I go, Norm, now we're going to be best friends. I'll pay for it. I'm going to send an Uber. He goes, I don't want to get in that car with a stranger. Oh, we had this whole thing fixed. You don't want to get in an Uber? Jeez, it could be easier.
When does he officially move to Palm Springs or Palm Desert or one of those types of places?
And retire?
Like Super Dave did. No, and then just constantly tell you he's coming back. Hey, I'm going to be in LA on Tuesday. That feels like the next phase for him.
I get excited because he's very elusive, so it's fun when we hang out. Because he's Greta Garbo of the comedians.
Yeah.
But he is fun. And he's good looking. I always say you look like Paul Newman. Huh? I go, you do? You're tall and cool looking. All these girls were into him, like, quietly. Like, you'd hear these girls. Norm's hot.
He's still my favorite Weekend Update guy.
Yeah, he's great. He's crazy and weird.
He really, really thrived on not getting a laugh.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it more than anyone who ever did.
And
he
I go,
would
by
stare
the way,
audience down.
Your whole thing of not getting laughs, you don't have to drag that whole thing to my show.
I just never seen anything like it.
Do the crazy one where you get laughs and then go back. But
have
he's
you
always
had Corolla on?
Smart. Oh, sorry, that was my zipper. Corolla is coming on. Yeah.
Yeah, Corolla. I would say Corolla
I don't know
would be good
Corolla
for this
well,
format.
He's coming on, and I saw him the other night at one of those clubs. He's great. Yeah, we're ready for him. We got all these. We got Bill Burr and I think not Gaffney. Oh, Jim Jeffries
Bill Burr
together.
would be good too.
We've got just pretty much every comic eventually coming on, so it's good.
Well, thanks for coming on this.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
appreciate
man.
it. This was fun. Good
This
luck
was
with the
fun.
show.
Thank
I'm glad
you.
you're doing it.
Sorry I got lost in the lot, but it's understandable with this lot.
Thanks.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis, but better anyway. Am I just being too real?
I've seen a guy kill that hard and bomb that hard, and it's a gift that people would pay that many. A gift to pay that much for a ticket and he could still walk up. Didn't matter what the price, they would leave. And when he killed hard. Very hard to follow. We did a tour. I'll show you a few pictures from the tour that our friend Julia Jones took. She sent me this weekend. I think they're great and they're very cool. Norm watching me on stage, I'm watching him, and I've never seen him.
He anchors the Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, and he has recently quit the nasty habit of smoking. Norm MacDonald. Norm! Now, you're a young iconoclast, Norm. You know, the kids, they get you.
What? I was going to wear a suit, and I
don't need to. I like this whole D.B. Cooper look for you, man. This is... Now,
is he the guy that jumped out of the plane?
No. He's married to Alice Cooper. Now, the thing remember you wrote for my first talk show?
Yeah, you gave me my
and
first
I used
job.
to come in the room, and you and Drake Sather had no lights on. It was like some fucking Anton LaVey Satan cult in there, and you guys used to turn out the sickest jokes ever, and everybody was always smoking. Then I see you on Saturday Night Live during the opening credits, and one of the things I like about you is you're completely unfiltered on that show. You'll say anything, and I saw in the picture you had a cigarette in your mouth. I thought, this guy just doesn't give a shit. So I asked you to come on. I find out you pussed out on me and quit smoking. What is that all about?
No, because it's bad for you. They have these fucking things on the side. You have to read the fine print where it says, it's bad.
Now, when did you first start smoking?
I started smoking when I was a kid, like when I was, I think I was like 14, and I thought, I'll look really cool, like if I start smoking, because I didn't get along with anybody. So I started smoking. Wouldn't you know it, I did look cool. All of a sudden, all these broads like me and everything. Not broads, but ladies, girls, women. And it was hard though, man, because I was guilty about it all the time I smoked, because I always thought, I always knew it was bad for me, Like, even though some guys will say that it's good because their uncle lived long or something and he smoked, and they'll go, hey, what about, that old guy, Bert Mustin, what about that guy, And then he just because he lived long, that doesn't mean anything, right? That's just one guy. You can't, just because Bert Mustin lived long, you're all of a sudden...
You did your master's thesis on this, didn't you? Now, did people bother you a lot when you're smoking? Were people pissed off when
Yeah, people don't like when you smoke, you know. They're bothered. Like, I gotta admit, though, secondhand smoke is bad. Like, I don't like, when I smoked, I didn't like secondhand smoke. You know? I like that first-hand smoke because you get to suck it right out of the cigarette, you know? And the secondhand, any fucking thing that's already been ingested by someone is not as good, you know? You know what I mean? Like a pork sandwich is delicious, but after a digested pork sandwich, that's fucking shit. You know?
You can't fight that logic, Norman. You cannot. Do you think advertising brings kids to smoking? You know, there's a lot of fight with the Joe Camel thing. Do you think they really?
Yeah, definitely they got it. Because the thing is this. The advertisers, they got to go after kids because they're not going to get adults. Like, there's not going to be a 50-year-old guy going, hey, I should start smoking. That goddamn Camel. Look at him. They got to get little children.
Joe Camel.
Yeah.
That's a frightening-looking beast.
He looks like a cock. I read that. Yeah. I didn't make this up.
And I know you don't mind first-hand cock, but...
You don't know that. Don't say that. I know how this stuff happens, man. Because a buddy of mine worked on Saturday Night Live, and he said he was a fag once as a joke. And then he said everybody comes up to him and saying, "Are you a fag?" Gay man? I mean.
Show about smoking. They thought you meant the British word for cigarette. All right.
Exactly. Can I bum a fag? That's what they say in England.
Where else? All right.
The thing about Joe Camel looking like a cock, Dennis.
I lost my train of thought. Thanks for bringing me back.
This is what I've noticed. He doesn't even look like a fucking camel. He looks so much like a cock. Because you know how it's usually subliminal?
Yeah.
Where you have to find the cock, right? This character, you have to find the goddamn camel.
Yeah, believe me, when you only get 2 humps out of a cock, it's not worth smoking. All right, now, line 2, we got a phone call for you. Although I can't believe they'd still be on the line after this departure. Line 2, we've got Beverly from Middletown, Ohio. Beverly?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. Hi, Norm.
Hi, you didn't know my name, I don't think.
Yes, I did. I watched Saturday night.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I liked it when Dennis was on it.
I watch Dennis every Friday.
Get out of here. You're great at that, man. You're great at this. You know why? Because you don't give a shit about Dennis. You know what I mean? It's like the best thing you can do. Whenever I'd go on, they'd go, what's it like following Chevy? And I like Chevy. He makes me laugh. What the fuck do I think about Chevy? I'm trying to make a living here.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
When I see you, I know you're thinking the same thing. Like, screw Dennis. I'm killing. Okay, anyway, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, since nicotine is such an addictive drug, do you think someday you'll have to have a prescription to buy a pack of cigarettes?
Well, you know, they always bring up the Constitution and talk about how we should still have the right to a militia and all that. But let's face facts, this country was built on tobacco growers. So, you know, if you're going to start changing... If you're not going to change one thing because it comes from way back then, you can't change this either. There are farmers out there who make a living. Tobacco is one of the crops that got this country going. So, no, I don't think they'll ever make it illegal.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't make it illegal. I know.
I think Norm's backing me up on that. What motivated you to quit?
Well, I guess I read this thing about how it was like a phallic symbol, and that my doctor went in. He said, you probably have an oral fixation, which you know what that means. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So that's why I always smoke like cigarettes instead of cigars, because if I'm gonna have I like a little white thin cock, you know.
Middletown, the center of the universe, to take a nice clean call And then I space out. I'm thinking, I can't listen to Norm for a second. I got to get a time cue here. I come back, and you're talking about having a thin white cock in your...
I don't have a thin white cock. In my cock, you mean?
No.
In my mouth. No, you misunderstand.
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying is this. I'm just saying
don't make the mistake of thinking I fucking listen to you.
I just want to make it clear about that cock thing. I was just saying, if I ever was gay, if they suddenly made it mandatory or something, then I would choose the smallest cock, and I would like a guy that came fast. I don't know. I thought the subject was cock.
No, cocks is next week.
I'm sorry. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I was just thinking, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, Bob Dole came right out and said
he was one of the first.
Yeah. And you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock, what the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, you don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that in some corners is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This Viagra. It's insane. And you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right, It's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is,
Defer to Spade.
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rip kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head.
Why bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
After he talks about you doing chin-ups on cock for 18 minutes. No, he's a good guy.
If you're gay, he's a completely straight guy. He gets a lot of ladies. You know that about him with the ladies.
Don't say ladies.
Women, girls.
Okay, thank you. Ladies, what are we, fucking on an FM station here?
He's Don Cornelius.
But these gay guys, man, I was reading, about
These gay guys.
I haven't even said hi yet. All right. Tell me what it is with these gay guys.
I know, I'm already.
I just read this thing about the George
You're reading
Michael.
a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a little time off. Now I read the newspaper. And this really strikes me about the gay community. I don't know if they're a community, but
called West Hollywood.
Yeah, they're gay, and it's George Michaels. He hangs around the bathroom. He has sex with multiple guys. This is
no way. You got to get it right. Hangs around the bathroom,
right.
And it was described as a lewd behavior, but I don't remember sex with numerous guys.
Well,
is that what you took away from it?
What does he do?
What were you, in the next stall?
I could have been just having a nice bathroom regular thing.
I don't know what lewd behavior is, but I don't know that he was in there with numerous guys. But anyway, go ahead. We get the gist of it.
This is definitely a gay thing, because this is a pop superstar. You know what I mean? You're not going to walk into a bathroom and all of a sudden Farrah Fawcett's like, You're not going to...
What? I love it.
What I'm saying is, why would a famous...
What was she doing? What did I
some sort of cervical belt sander thing, or what was that? Oh, Christ, what are you, Linda Blair?
They do. That's what they do. Right?
That's what ladies that I know do.
Good to know that primetime exposure is paying dividends there.
But I think that's what it is. It's that the gay, that's why they have separate bathrooms. Let's face it. If they had women and, women, as you call them, I call them ladies. If you had them in the same bathroom,
like Ally McBeal.
Like you go in the bathroom to do your business, see a man about a dog there, and you're in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom. All of a sudden, a beautiful lady comes out. Oh, here's my vagina and breasts. You're going to be hanging out at that bathroom a lot. So I don't blame anybody for anything.
Can you believe Olmeyer didn't get him?
We're all the same, man.
Have you ever met Olmeyer since then?
Don Olmeyer I met once, after he fired me.
Yeah.
Then I went and visited him in his office, which it wasn't an office I've never seen. It was like a wet bar and a bunch of weird sports trophies. He's a big sports guy,
Yeah.
So he explained it to me what happened, but he did it all with sports stuff, like you said, man, you see, you're the number 3 hitter, but now you're going to be number 8. And then later on, Ken Griffey will show up. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then I said, well, Christ, man, what the hell am I supposed to do? And he goes, I don't know, just walk it off, And
I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired. You were fucking with OJ too much. That's exactly why you were fired, man.
Well, I don't know.
That's his buddy.
Yeah, it's his buddy.
Yeah, well, that's why you got canned.
OJ's a good guy. I mean, he's not...
We got to end on that, Normie, but there's what they'll remember you by. OJ's a good guy.
Man,
Thanks for coming on. Norm MacDonald and David Spade. Stick around.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis for better anyway. Am I just being...
Luckily, we have the good taste to bring tonight's guest back. Every season, he is as uncensored a wit as they come. His new sitcom, The Norm Show, is on ABC Wednesdays at 9:30. Please welcome George Wendt, ladies and gentlemen.
They thought they were getting...
Georgie Wendt!
Norby! How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Year in, year out, my favorite guest.
All right, you're a good man.
Because you have no inner barometer of how far to go.
Well, no, because it's HBO. I like to be dirty, and it's fun.
You know what you are? You're like a profane child. That's how I think of you, because you always say, I like to be dirty. Then you go up on this Pynchon-esque cock ramp for like 3 minutes. Yeah, cocks are ugly, and Joe Campbell's a cock, and you're always shuffling your feet. What are you nervous about? You're a star, for Christ's sake. How's that sitcom world? Is that hell, or do you like that over there?
It's not a lot of fun, but, it's good to do.
No, it's not on Olmeyer's. Has Olmeyer sent you a congratulatory telegram, or what word am I looking for there?
Olmeyer, I haven't heard any missive, I think.
Who's the Olmeyer at your network?
This lady, Jamie Tarsis.
She think you're funny?
Yeah.
Olmeyer's not even there anymore, isn't it? Isn't one of his last official duties to whack you?
Yeah. He took off, and they got this other guy, I think it's maybe Sammy Sosa.
Scott Sassa.
Scott Sassa.
All right, now I want to do a Rorschach thing. What flashes into your mind when I say bad taste? What do you find bad taste?
Well, there was this performance art guy, I remember in New York, that his whole big thing was he'd take a picture of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and then...
Oh, that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then his whole act is he'd piss on it with his cock.
Wow, at least he showed respect. He could have pissed with his, what, arm?
Oh, you're right. So I thought that was really in horribly bad
That's over
taste.
the line, as far as...
because Jesus Christ, you know, he died for the guy's sin, and then the guy pisses on his picture. And it was a picture of Jesus dying for his sins. Like he was on the cross going, oh, I'm dying for the guy's sins. And then this guy's like pissing all over it. But, you know, when Judgment Day comes, he's going to have to face Jesus Christ of Almighty of Nazareth, you know.
And Jesus is going to say, hey, asshole, what's with the peeing on my picture?
Yeah. That negates every other good thing he ever did, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't piss on my picture.
Yeah. You don't want to come up to the gates of heaven, God's leaning there with a nunchuck strapped around his neck, you know. How do you
go, I'll have some performance art for you while the fucking devil shoves some coal up your ass.
As I said before, the childlike outro. But effective. How do you define bad taste? Is it like beauty? Is it in the eye of the beholder or what?
Yeah, it kind of is. You know, it depends on what people... Some people, like, get all upset over certain words. Like, they think that... Like, girls all the time, man, when I'm talking to them, like, if I go, hey, how about you and I, like, fuck, you know? and then the girl always goes, like, I don't fuck, I make love. I make love. And I go, I don't care, whatever you want to call, as long as my dirty cock's involved, you know? I don't care. I'm not gonna get in a semantic argument. Or, you know, you can call it making a grilled cheese sandwich as long as there's a lot of me doing that
kind of thing. Now, what's the earliest into a hitting on a woman that you've ever said, I want to fuck you? You give it a couple minutes, right?
I try to get into it pretty quick. You know?
Throw that trump card down. No, if you're in the game.
I don't ever ask them to, would you like to have dinner? I don't really like having dinner with them. Or having a drink with them or anything like that.
No.
You know,
so that's your sort of exchange with women is...
Yeah, I say, hey, how about you and me fuck? And then they go, no. And then they go, how about we have dinner? And I go, I don't like dinner, you don't like fucking.
So it's pretty basic thing you have with women. Kind of a basic exchange.
I'm not good with girls.
When do you remember first being cognizant of bad taste? You know, because when you're a little kid, everything's kind of funny. You know, like farting is explosively funny.
Right.
When do you remember first being able to differentiate between bad taste and good taste?
I know when you're a kid, you'll say anything. Like, I don't remember much, but I have a little boy, you know, a sweet little boy.
You have a son?
Yeah, he's a
Norm,
good boy.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
Ah, you want to say hey to him?
Yeah, hey, well, you better
he can't watch this show. That's what I always say. You can't watch Daddy.
Right. So little Dylan and I went to El Pollo Loco. Yeah.
His original name was Zimmerman, though, right?
No. I thought that would be the coolest name as I was a kid. I never heard anybody named Dylan. I said, this will be because I love Dylan Thomas.
Right.
So I said, this will be a cool name for a kid. And I thought it'd be unique, and now every fucking kid is Dylan. And they named him after that 90210 guy. Can you imagine? That's what I read in not a book, but a periodical. So anyway, little Dylan and I were getting some chicken at the Pollo Loco.
Right.
And kids are so wonderful, you know. You know that.
Unfiltered.
They're unfiltered, exactly. Yes. So we're standing beside this huge fat broad, you know. And so
not as unfiltered as Daddy, but unfiltered.
So me and little Dylan are behind her, and he goes, Daddy, look how fat she is. And then so I had not said, you're not supposed to call fat people fat to him, so it wasn't his fault. So I said, no, Dylan, shit, enough with that. And he goes, I bet she's going to eat a lot of chicken. I bet. It was really funny because everybody was looking at her. And then right at that moment, the guy goes, yes, ma'am, what would you like? And she's like, I'll have 2 pieces of chicken. You know, she was going to order like 8 full whole chickens, you know.
Well, how do you know that?
Yeah. How do I know that?
Yeah, maybe she wasn't going to order 8 full chicken.
No,
maybe she was...
Because right when she ordered the 2 chickens, she did like the shifty eye, you know? I don't do a good shifty eye.
So you're behind her in line and yet able to discern the subtle REM-like movements of her eyeballs.
You got me on that one, man. I made that part up.
You don't even the sun.
For the purposes of that anecdote, I am not daring.
I thought you were going to be quick and say, it was Linda Blair. We got a phone call for you, believe it or not. Fat woman from El Pollo Loco. No. It's Murtaugh from Miami, Florida. Murtaugh.
Hey, Dennis. Hey, Norm.
How are you, Mert?
I'm good. You know, I can't wait to see your new show. It really looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, when's it on again, Normie? Remind me. You're one of my friends. I'll let you plug capriciously.
Okay, it's on
oh, come on, you gotta get this. Huh?
When is it on?
Are you in it?
Yes. It's on Wednesday at 9:30 on the American Broadcasting Corporation.
All right. So, what's your question there, Mert?
Okay, why is it people like this annoying Joan Rivers, you know, always criticize people's bad taste at the Academy Awards, you know, like Gwyneth Paltrow, who's like the hottest chick on earth. And, well, she has no taste in fashion whatsoever, you know, man? I mean, God.
You know what? I feel awkward here because I met Joan Rivers once and she was so nice to me and so funny. But I agree with him to some extent when she gets, like, lays into Kathy Bates or saying, oh, Kathy Bates never did anything wrong by her. And I just think there's that slight tinge of desperation in Joan sometimes nowadays, you know, that she'll say anything and that kind of, I don't know, sometimes that makes me uncomfortable. But, you know, she's a good dame and she does a great show there.
I hate Slam and other celebrities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Remember when Spade did that, how he lived his life in fear?
To Eddie?
Well, to Eddie, you know, to Eddie specifically, people, but Spade used to do that Hollywood moment. Spade, he's a great guy, he's one of our best friends, but he was always scared shitless because he made his whole thing out there just trashing people, and they would get pissed and call him, and he was always like living in fear. He never goes to Hollywood parties because he's afraid somebody's going to kick his little Sputnik ass.
Right, because everybody he insults is like 2.5 feet taller than him.
Now, Norm, have you ever done anything in your long and storied career that you consider specifically to be in bad taste as you look back on it? Maybe at the time you thought it was a good play, but you look back on it and you think that was in bad taste.
Well, sometimes, like in stand-up, I'll do jokes that are like one time I was doing this thing in San Francisco and they were all gay people in the audience. They told me, so I figured I'd
in San Francisco?
Yeah.
No.
So I figured I'd do stuff about gay people so that they could relate to it.
Yeah, it's warm up. They love that.
And so I was talking about, because I went to this gay pride parade, and I saw in it there were these old men and old ladies like with these signs that said, "We are proud of our gay son," you know? And so I was saying, that's an odd thing to be proud of, you know, because it's not an achievement, you know? It's not like something you work all your life to be gay or anything like that. And I just wondered, I had a hard time believing that these 50, 60-year-old men are actually bragging, you know, at work like they're, hey, Bill, you know, my kid, oh my God, we're proud of him, Johnny. He graduated from Harvard, you know, first in his class, you know what I mean? Now he's articling over at a law firm, and, oh yeah, he loves cock. You know? This kid. He can't get enough cock in his mouth, his ass, his kid's always cock. I got a picture of the boy here sucking another man's cock. I want to show it to you.
So watch the maturation of you as an artist to realize it took you 9.5 minutes to get around to the sucking cock stuff. It's beautiful to see you comfortable in your own skin, Normie. All right. The Norm Show, 9:30. What night? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
ABC. Good luck with it. Norm MacDonald. Stick around, Norm, to do the news. Norm MacDonald, ladies. Now, Norman, you're an inventive guy. Which of the current batch of inventions has tickled your fancy? What do you like?
Well, Henry Ford just invented the assembly line there, you know?
Yeah,
and that was good because he wanted, you know, not just rich people, but anyone to drive over and see his cock.
Well, is there any other one that's caught your fancy?
There's Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah.
You know, he invented the telephone.
Right.
So he could call people up, tell them to come on over and see his cock, you know, because he was tired of yelling it out the window.
So, hey, theme development.
Check out my cock.
I hear you just got back from New York City. What's happening in Gotham?
Oh, my God. Well, the big thing is the new Empire State Building. Have you seen this?
I've heard. I have not seen yet.
Oh, it's crazy. What I'm interested in is the original architect's blueprint, you know?
Yes.
It called for the building to be painted flesh tone, Dennis, with a large rounded head so the architect could lie on the street and pretend he had a 1,000-foot cock. Frank Lloyd Wright, more like Frank Lloyd Cock.
So, Norm, tell me, what's your take on this whole Cold War thing?
Well, my brother works down at the UN, right? And you remember last week when Khrushchev was banging his shoe on the table?
Crazy bastard.
Yeah. So my brother was sitting beside him, and Khrushchev, like, he accidentally slips, and my brother gets hit right in the cock.
With the shoe?
Yeah, by Khrushchev's shoe. So my brother turns to him, he says, "Hey, you hit me in the cock again, you dirty commie, I'll bury you."
So what's been happening, man?
Oh, man, I dropped acid the other week. That is bizarre stuff.
Really?
Yeah, my cock started singing to me. I like Joe Cocker.
Stood for something other than just being Mexico's bitch. I say if President Clinton 296 doesn't snap us out of this downward spiral we're in, we dump his gay ass. Next election process, we clone Jesse Ventura again, bring him back. Hey, Norm.
Hey, you know what I think they should put on the dark side of the moon?
What?
Vast fields of bioengineered hydroponically grown cock. Yeah, you know, like a backup supply just in case our earthbound supply of cock might run out one day.
Cock tucked away for a cocky day.
Exactly. Look at my head, man. It looks like a cock.
It does.
Cock. 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 That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
The smartest cat I ever knew at SNL, and a much revered figure there, is joining us for another segment. This is my former producer, longtime writer and contributor, Jim Downey. Jim, I had Norm on the show yesterday. I always thought Norm, from the first second I saw him, was just a flat-out misanthropic genius. I always gave him a wide berth as far as time schedules and that, because I just said, well, I'm going to grab Amadeus and tell him he has to be here to do busy work. You know what I mean? That isn't going to happen. So I think he's a genius. What was it like to work with him on Update?
Well, he is a genius and the most fearless performer. He likes people to laugh at his stuff. He enjoys that, but it's sort of one of like, half a dozen important aspects of what he does. Mm-hmm. So that if he really loves a joke or a bit, he will happily go out there and do it, whatever the response is. And there was if you want to hear a story,
I love me a Norm story.
One time we were in the office doing Update stuff, and there'd been a news item about there was going to be a newspaper for the homeless, and so we were thinking about doing some of that. So we started improvising. It was more of a scene, not something we could do on the segment, but it was like a tough kind of Perry White kind of editor going like, "You, Miller, I want 500 words on going to the bathroom in your pants. You, Immel, give me something. Give me a human interest thing on urine stain matter. You, that kind of thing. Yeah. And like a lot of like photos, maybe some, a little human side. What are pets, that kind of thing. And so nothing came of it, and I sort of forgot we had the conversation. And then the first meeting we have after the summer, Norm comes in and goes, "Hey, Downey, remember that that thing we were talking about there with the remember that thing with the newspaper for the homeless? That thing, the homeless newspaper." And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, well, you know, I was out in L.A. and I was asked to do this benefit, you know, for the coalition to feed the homeless, and, you know. And, you know, and I'm going, no. And he goes, yeah, you know, I did that bit, you know. They hated it. Hated it.
All right, you tell me now. That's the Andy Kaufman part of the joke, or is he actually surprised that they hated it? That's what I can't quite figure with Lord.
I know.
Jimmy calls in here periodically and says that he has bought a puppet and he wants to work material out on the show. And I'll say, well, tell me about the puppet. And it's an old man puppet who's a Holocaust denier. And it's obviously just Norm sitting at home talking as Norm. He makes no pretension to a puppet voice.
I know.
And I think he's Andy. I don't know. I view a lot of Andy Kaufman in there. It's just
he also would like to, one of the things that he would really enjoy just getting into a character, and then you could not get him out of it. Like he liked doing old man stuff.
Yes.
Like being an old geezer and complaining about aches and pains and stuff like that. And then you go, okay, Norm, now seriously, now we actually have to talk about he'd start doing stuff about rheumatism and you know, things like that. And you just had to plead with him to just stop. But he was on his own kind of, you know, set of rhythms.
The speed with which he would take his sport coat off at the end of his Letterman impression always I would watch the thing just to watch, because Letterman's so ill at ease with show business, always makes this conscious show of getting rid of the sport coat at the end of the show. And when Norm picked up on that and did that as impression, God, I fell out.
You know, I learned a little bit about that was Norm. And of course, Norm's a little crazy, but Norm, you know, a big host would come and we'd all get all hopped up, like, okay, Rosie's gonna bring in big ratings. Let's get our AP. Where's my goat? I'm gonna throw out a goat. And Norm would sit there in the pitch meeting. We'd all be dead serious. You know, Will would throw out, I'm going to do a cheerleader.
Right.
This one and that. And Norm would be like, yeah, I got a sketch where, you know, you're going in your pants, you know? And you're just walking around, and you're like, yeah, I'm the guy with the in my pants, you know? I hate this guy. And you look at him like he was nuts, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, Norm knew exactly. Listen, one of the single funniest things I've ever seen in my life is when he did Letterman, how quickly he would throw the sport coat off at the end of the sketch. Nothing made me laugh harder than Norm doing Letterman. And I said to him, what's with the sport? You know how Letterman, how ill at ease he is with show business. Yeah. Norm said, that's all I had at the beginning. The essence of it was his discomfort. I said, this guy's a freaking genius.
He is a genius. He would warm up the crowd. Now, when I would warm up the crowd, I would warm it up like I was playing the Garden, and I wanted to teach everyone a lesson. If I'm cut from tonight, I want you to know I should have been on.
That I was a badass.
Yeah, I'd warm up the crowd, kill. Norm would go up behind me, and he'd go, hey, you know, Jim Brewer and these guys, he's got all these great impressions, you know. So I said, oh, I better learn some impressions. So, are you guys all ready? This is my newest impression of these. I love it. Because here's Ed Sullivan. And I'm like, he's really going to do Ed Sullivan? Like, why would you? He goes, Ed Sullivan introducing the Beatles. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Beatles. Well, I got to work on that one a little bit. I see you during the show.
He's got a little Andy Kaufman in him, Norm. He likes to frustrate, titillate a little, but then periodically he'll say something like, you know, I feel sorry for the homeless guy's dog, because you know the dog's thinking, this is the longest walk I've ever been on. Norm's hosting a sports show now, Jimbo, on Comedy Central.
Oh, that's dangerous. You and I both know that can be very.
Yeah, but that is a panel I volunteer for, because I want to be in the blast site of that when that goes off, because that is going to be a. Hey, now listen, did I hear some rumble that Brother Sandler sent out Maseratis to the cast of Grown Ups? Did you reap the benefit?
First of all, let me just say one thing. Nothing's better than the Nancy Pelosi Augustus reference.
Pelosius Augustus.
I'm still swooning over that one. Yeah, Stanley gave Maseratis to Spade, Schneider, Kevin James, Chris Rock, all of whom need one, by the way. Very bad. But
Exactly. What'd you get?
no bitterness, but me and Norm MacDonald, yeah, we're splitting a zip car.
And you split a zip car with Norm. It's like having one of those, those Christmas trees the drivers have that smells like North Slope Sensimilla.
Yeah, this car, I don't know, they must have been smoking pot in here or something.
Norm cancels on us once every 2 weeks, and I almost enjoy it more than him showing up at this point, because he always wants me to talk to some ventriloquist puppet that he says is on the phone. A Holocaust tonight. What has happened to Norman?
And then when he sees you, he's going to go, how come you never have me on your show?
Nope.
We tried to get you on. What?
Nobody funnier, though. I mean, you got to give it to him.
Nobody funnier.
That guy, if I'm in a room with him for 10 minutes, they got to put the paddles on me because I flat.
Which brings us to two notable comedians and two friends of Gilbert's. And Gilbert, you might have to do the driving on this one. Let's start with the late, great Norm.
Yeah, I remember doing Norm's podcast, and as always, it turned with any of my comic friends who would turn like deranged. Mm-hmm. And he was very funny with that. He'd always talk with like a sneer, It's like and I remember right after I put that photo up a few times. It's one of my favorite photos. Afterwards, after doing Norm's show, Norm and I joined Jeff Ross and, of course, Bob Saget.
Yeah.
And I remember that being a night of just nonstop laughs.
You could tell even from the still photo that you guys were ripping it up.
Yeah, it was just so much fun.
Truly original. I never met him. It's funny. I'm in comedy a long time, and I know a million comedians, and I've gotten to work with a million comedians, and for some reason our paths never crossed. And we wanted to get him on this show, Gil, as you know.
Yes.
And he was Norm. So he was strangely strangely hard to pin down, or non-committal, or could do it and then couldn't do it, and.
I can't. I don't really know. I know I'm working.
One of the truly great comic minds, though, and his last appearance on Letterman, where he got so emotional, and in ways it sounds corny. I felt I knew him through his work, and obviously a lot of mutual friends. That Letterman appearance, really.
Gil, your appearance on his podcast, that whole podcast was so good. It was, and so funny.
Yeah, let's not diminish that, Gilbert. It made history, your appearance, and also the Einstein episode.
Yeah.
With Norm.
Yeah, I remember when I was on Norm's podcast. Afterwards, I just felt like I ran a marathon. It was just got crazier and crazier.
Netflix owns that show now, and they're not available to the public, unfortunately, and they're sitting on them. Hopefully one day it would be great if that podcast was re-released, because
there's that Bob Einstein episode is also legend.
Yep.
What can you say about the guy? I mean, a really rare, truly original comic voice.
Really,
and I love
such
Kurt
a
Ferguson
loss.
more than life itself.
By the way, Norm's book, based on a true story, not a memoir, which is so funny. The audio book, he narrates it. So if you miss Norm and you've never heard him reading his book, it's brilliant.
Now I got to get it. Yeah, I regret never meeting the man. And Gilbert, I'm glad you had such wonderful times with him.
Yes, he was a lot of fun.
It's a big loss. It's a loss for this
podcast,
just
a total smartass.
Yeah, I wish our paths had crossed.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. I wish that you would come around.
It's So let's move on to Bob, last but not least, which was a blow and not expected. And I will say that I had just reached out to Bob. We just recorded our 400th episode a couple of days ago, Gilbert and I reached out to Bob and I said, will you come and do this with us? And he said, I think I'm on a plane that night. And we were going back and forth and trying to arrange something. And then I sent him the link, which has been shared online. I sent him the link to Don Rickles' estate auction. Did you see that?
Oh,
They
I
posted
bid on a couple things.
You bid on a couple of things?
And I got none of them.
Bob's face was on a couple of items that, like there was pictures of them together and a poster or something. And I said, hey, you might want to bid on some of these things. And he wrote me back and he said, this just makes me sad, actually. And he said, but life goes on. And I had said to my wife, I have to call Bob. I have to text Bob. We moved the date of the 400th episode. And I got a phone call from my sister-in-law probably 20 minutes later telling me she just heard that he was gone. It was very shocking and still is.
And I had just spoken to Bob like a few days before he died. And we were on the phone, and as always, the minute anything turned at all sincere or serious, we turn it to just complete filth and make it reverse, and it was always fun. And it was like, I always remember, like, when the Aristocrats came out, people were saying, can you believe Bob Saget talks like that? And to people who knew him, they say, we couldn't believe he could speak any other way.
It wasn't Danny Tanner.
No.
I didn't know him that well. I certainly didn't know him as well as Gilbert, but but that was part of him. But there was such a gentleness to the guy.
Yes.
Too. I mean, his humor was so edgy and so dark and it could be so scatological, as you'll hear because we're rerunning the second episode that we did with him. But he didn't want to injure. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He was very, very, very sensitive guy. Did he always tell you that he loved you before he hung up the phone, Gilbert?
Yes.
As Dara shared with me, there was a real kindness to him that you couldn't miss.
And I remember I got a call from Jeff Ross who said, sad news, Bob Saget died. And I swear, I thought, this is going to be a funny, sick joke. And I said, okay. And I was waiting for the punchline. And then he said, no, seriously, he died. And I still have a hard time grasping that.
It's a gut punch. It really is. Gilbert you made the rounds. You went on CNN. You went on television. You said some lovely things about him. But it's 65. I mean, it's too young. It's too big a loss for.
And it seemed like he was another one starting out again. Like he did a live show.
Yeah.
And he was really excited to be getting back to live performing. And
going back to the second podcast with him, and he started that podcast, Bob Saget's Here For You. And it did seem like he was entering another phase of his career and another phase of his life. It seemed like he was more wistful and trying more to be of service. I mean, he was, that's why he was pleasant to be around. There really was no show business at all to the guy.
Yeah.
And he struck me, again, didn't know him well, but he struck me as also having a sadness about him. Do you think that, Gil, did you feel that?
Yeah.
A depth and a sadness about him.
And he also, he had two sisters who died.
Yeah, that's right.
One from scleroderma, which was a charity he did loads of work for.
Yes, to his credit.
And see, there's another thing that shows that what I've always said about comedy and tragedy. He made, I remember being with him a few times where he made jokes about his sister. Really deranged stuff. But then you see, I mean, he loved his sister.
Of course.
And his family was totally traumatized by it. But he could just be completely sick. I think if you could communicate with the dead and get in touch with Bob Saget, he would make completely bad taste jokes about his own death. He was that kind. He would just really
staying true to his art to the end.
Yes, yes.
To the bitter end. It's a big loss for us personally, for Gilbert and Jeff and Stamos and obviously a lot of his friends and fans.
And I put up a photo too. I was on the beach with Jeff, and we're holding up a phone, and on the phone is Bob Saget, because we're sitting on the beach and said, "Hey, let's call Bob."
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much else we can add. Rest in peace, Bob.
I'm trying to be a better person now. You ever try to do that? I give a guy some money out there, a homeless guy in the street, and this is a kind of odd thing. He had a dog with him. You ever see this? He's a homeless guy, but he's got a dog. Isn't that kind of odd there? Guy got no home, but he's got a dog. And the dog's really thrilled with this idea, Dog's going, "Hey, pal, I can do this by myself pretty well here, The longest walk in the world you got me on here. What the hell? What the hell kind of a thing? What the deuce?
And there was if you want to hear a story,
I love me a Norm story.
One time we were in the office doing update stuff, and there'd been a news item about there was going to be a newspaper for the homeless, and so we were thinking about doing some of that. So we started improvising. It was more of a scene, not something we could do on the segment, but it was like a tough kind of Perry White kind of editor going like, "You, Miller, I want 500 words on going to the bathroom in your pants. You, Immel, give me something. Give me a human interest thing on urine stain matter. You, was that kind of thing. Yeah. And like a lot of like photos, maybe some, a little human side, what are, pets, that kind of thing. And so nothing came of it, and I sort of forgot we had the conversation. And then the first meeting we have after the summer, Norm comes in and goes, "Hey, Downey, remember that, that thing we were talking about there with the, remember that thing with the newspaper for the homeless, that thing, the homeless newspaper?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, well, I was out in L.A. and I was asked to do this benefit, for the coalition, Feed the Homeless, or something, And, and I'm going, no. And he goes, "Yeah, I did that bit, They hated it. Hated it."
All right, you tell me now. That's the Andy Kaufman part of the joke, or is he actually surprised that they hated it? That's what I can't quite figure with Look.
I know.
Oh, yes. And have you ever considered publishing a book that tells all that how-to book?
No, but I have considered some way to pass along what I have accumulated. Where's the fun part for me?
No, there's no fun for you.
There's no fun for me.
No, that's true. But what's the fun for you in giving a homeless guy spraying a handful of quarters and watching him dodge in and out of traffic? No, but I'm saying there's...
that question answers itself.
I'm saying there's fun, and maybe not fun, but you obviously want to give back. You never walked past a homeless person and they're begging you as a fellow human being for something, and you ignore them, and you maybe feel some evil bile come up?
No, sometimes I think if I give this person money, I'm kind of agreeing that you can't get out of this situation.
Well, but what if they can't?
I don't know if they can or they can't.
What are the things you'd like to change?
Change in the world?
Yourself.
Oh, in myself? I'd like to give more money to homeless people. I walk past too many of them.
I give money to them.
I try as much as I can, but every time I walk past them, I go, why didn't I give money to that guy?
Well, what else is going on? You went back? Did you get in the holiday spirit? Are you a kind of guy that gets,
I try to do something nice, You ever try to do something nice?
No. Oh. It's not my style, Norm.
It was Christmas in New York, you know, and I was alone. So anyways, there was a diner that I always go to near my house. It's a really nice diner. And so I went there, and there was this homeless bum there, you know.
Just say a homeless guy. It's not politically correct to say bum. Why can't you say homeless bum?
No, I thought they didn't like to be called bums.
Yeah, right. A homeless guy, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so, okay.
I'm not going to let you get to this story. I'm just going to keep giving you a hard time about bums. You meet a bum, a hobo, a tramp.
A tramp, yeah. He had a little stick with a thing on it.
He was from the 1930s. Yeah, okay.
And so he says to me, he says, can I get some money off you? And I don't like giving the homeless bums money. I'll tell you why. Because I figure they'll do the crack. Right?
They'll do the crack.
Yeah,
okay.
my mom says never give a homeless bums money because they'll go do the crack. So I said, okay. I said, I don't want to give this guy money. He'll go do the crack. I said, why don't I just bring you in the diner, you know, and I'll get you a meal. I'll buy you a meal. It's Christmas, you know, it'll be nice. So the guy goes, okay. So we go in the diner and we order, you know, the meal. And this guy just keeps ordering food, you know, like he's really hungry.
Yeah.
And so he orders and orders and orders, and I'm like, well, you know, you got to be nice, got to the, you know, thing.
Sure.
And so I order like a soup or something, and then all of a sudden, like, this unbearable stench comes off the guy, huge stench.
Really?
It smelled like.
That's okay.
Anyway, so I don't know what the smell was, but it was like, it was like human waste or something, you know? And it seemed to be coming from the guy's, like, trousers.
Norm, so I said that's okay.
Okay.
I was like, the stench is enough. We all can do the rest in our heads.
Yeah, so this stench fills the diner, right? So I have to go to this diner, right? So everybody's looking at me like, what the hell did you bring a homeless bum in the diner for? With a stench, you know? So I'm like, I'm trying to eat my soup. I can't even eat it. And I'm wishing I'd bought this guy crack. I wish I'd got, you know what I mean? I wish I'd gone found some crack and bought it for the guy. So anyways, and everybody hates me. The guy that, you know, I have to go there every day. And so then the end of the meal comes. This guy's ordered everything, and I'm looking at my wallet. I only have like 28 bucks. It was like 31 bucks. All I had was a soup. And so now basically we're two homeless bums, you know? And neither of us. So I go, look, buddy, and he's been jabbering about Rockefeller. He was at Rockefeller's funeral. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I go, look, buddy, you got to come up with something here, you know? Kick in something.
You want him to? Yeah, that's only fair.
He ate almost everything. I had a soup. He was having hamburgers. So the guy goes in his pocket, and then I didn't want him to. Who God knows what he has in his pocket, right? But he had some coins, and they were all gross, and they were like, some of them were black. Anyway, that's my Christmas story.
Man, wow! What a young You're a regular Garrison Keeler over here.
And some of the coins were black.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And you close the book and kiss your child good night. That's a nice story.
I took a homeless guy, said, I'm going to take you to this diner that I always go to. So I go there with him, you know, into this diner, sit down to get me a meal. Good God, if the guy, the unbearable stench of urine starts coming off this guy. So nobody wants that in a restaurant. You know?
You don't want that.
So I'm like, all right. Everybody's like trying to eat, you know. So the guy orders this food, and I'm trying to talk to him. He starts telling me about how, this is his idea of a conversation, this guy. Starts telling me about how Governor Rockefeller is poisoning the pigeons right in the city. So I tell this guy, I go, what are you, retarded? I said, Governor Rockefeller, I said, the governor of this state is Pataki, Governor Pataki. He says, no, you know, he talked weird. He was like, the pigeon. He says, the pigeons are the cleanest animal you ever seen. I go, I'm not arguing with you, buddy, but I'm telling you, the governor's name is Pataki. That's unbelievable. He's crazy. Turned out he wasn't retarded. He was, you know, woo.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. I wish that you would come
Now, Norm, you've had Saturday Night Live has a really long. I used to work there. It's a long summer break, you guys.
Yeah, it's like school. You get a whole summer off.
It's pretty sweet. Have you been performing at all this summer?
Yeah, I did. I've been doing stand-up, at clubs and stuff.
Sure.
And, oh man, I didn't realize how much. I forgot how much I stunk at it. Like I'm not good, and everyone hates me. I did. I went to this gig right in town. You ever hear of the Bowery?
Yeah, heard that. Yeah.
You know that place, right?
Sure. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's Skid Row. Mm-hmm. And so there's all these homeless bums on the street and everything like that.
Yeah.
And you have to go through it. So I went to this club. And I bombed. They hated my guts, so I was all mad. I get mad when I don't do good. And then, so I went out of the thing. I walked out.
You walk like that, really? You've got that problem, I remember.
So I walk out of the club. So I get out, and this homeless guy, this bum, he starts walking beside me, bugging me. Hey,
you're not supposed to call them bums anymore. No.
Yeah,
but anyway,
hobo.
A tramp.
Yeah.
Okay, riding the rails.
Yeah,
right.
just a layabout. And he's like coming up to me, and he's like bugging me. I want money. They always want money.
Yeah.
They never have money. So
that's the problem with them hobos. Yeah.
So they're like, hey, give me some money. And sometimes they'll walk with you. So I said, look, man. I said, I'm going to give you some money if you just go away. I'm mad at him. I was mad. I go here, and I pull in my pocket, and I just give him a bunch of money, like change,
Yeah.
Give it to him. I go, go on, get out of here, you dirty bum, So he goes away. So then I go to get the subway, and I look at my pocket. I've given the guy, I don't have my token, my subway token.
Oh, you gave it away accidentally.
And I don't have a wallet or anything, so I was thinking I was going to try to jump the thing, but I thought then, I get in trouble for that. So I said, I got to find that bum, that homeless bum, So I have to go back, and I'm walking back the street, and there's all homeless bums. They're all lying there in the street.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one is which. I can't remember. So I'm like lifting up guys' hats and stuff, and looking under newspapers. So finally I find this character. I go, hey, you. I go, give me some of that money back, And he's like, no, go away. He's turned mean, because I was mean to him earlier. He goes, go on, get out.
This is like a biblical tale. Yeah, okay. The New Testament. All right, go ahead.
I felt sorry for him. He had no place. And so I go, okay, forget about it. And I go to turn around. Then I grab his cup, like, real quick, and I start running.
I like how your running is like walking, just turned up like 10 degrees. Okay.
So it was great. I got and then I felt bad, though, because when I looked through, I had like about $1 more than I gave him. Oh, that's not right.
That's not right at all.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they say if you give, you'll receive more in return.
That's the sweetest story I've ever heard. I'm all choked up now. Now I heard also you've been you did a little cross.
Probably just down on his luck.
Yeah, that's what happens. Why'd you feel you had to throw that in?
I don't know. I read books on the Great Depression, and they seem cool. But I would like to. It would be fun to go. I don't even like my wife anyway, and I don't got no money. I'll just get a stick and a pouch and head out.
No one does that anymore. No one ties a rag to a stick anymore. And what are you going to do?
You're going to find a partner is what you're going to do pretty quick if you value your life.
Really?
Yeah. You see, people, it's all going to be different once the Great Depression, because my dad used to tell me about the Great Depression. Like, if I had money to invest in right now, you know what I would invest in? Guys jumping off the top of buildings. You think that's not going to happen, but soon that's going to be very big. And then those guys won't be powerful anymore because most of them will be dead and the rest severely crippled. And so the powerful guys will be the old hobos.
The hobos from olden times?
From the original Depression.
Oh, okay. Those guys are still around?
Some of them never gave up the life.
Okay.
And they use that stick for more than carrying a pouch on, I'll tell you that.
I don't even know what that means.
What that means is they'll drive your head, they'll, like an overripe cantaloupe it looks like.
What?
Until...
What the hell is that?
They'll club you to death for a sandwich.
Oh, my God. Well, thanks for spelling it out for me.
All right.
So you're afraid of these hobos?
Well, of course I am.
You really think these old hobos from the Depression, you think there's any one of them left?
Yeah, there's Kitchener Leslie.
What?
He's an old hobo that's waiting and wait for his time. You'll know all about it. You just wait. Hey,
You will literally say anything.
Some gold-plated chains would make a nice retirement gift for a very, very good slave. Well, this
Are you serious?
Well, this was written.
Are you serious?
This was written years
Did
ago.
you just write that?
I didn't write it.
Did you just say that?
No, I read it. Yes.
You read that?
It was written, obviously.
Oh my God Almighty! I'm not part of this.
No, it was written
No,
before.
I'm not part of this. No, you can't read that.
Well,
130 years after the Civil War, the state of Mississippi has finally voted to abolish slavery. Representatives say they would have liked to have done it sooner, but they were delayed due to some awfully big cotton crops. They had some kind of big cotton thing. All right. In Colorado this week, Bob Dole warned that if Pat Buchanan is the Republican nominee, the party might lose both the presidency and control of Congress. In response, Buchanan warned that if anyone other than himself becomes president, blacks will retain the right to vote. Last night, the epic disaster film Twister opened to big box office and some controversy. The Reverend Jesse Jackson has called for a boycott of the movie, claiming that not enough black people in the film are killed by tornadoes. Meanwhile, Furman, who was expected to face disciplinary action by the LAPD, may get off lightly. Under the terms of a controversial plea bargain, the charges against him have been reduced to, quote, 1 count of using the word darky. In the wake of the verdict, angry Menendez defense attorney Leslie Abramson said the jury simply chose not to believe the brothers' excuse that they had been sexually abused by their father, and says she knows why. Quote, "It's because my clients are black." President Clinton was in Austin, Texas last Monday, the day of the Million Man March. The president said in a speech, "I'm here to speak to you today because right now in Washington, D.C., there's like 1 million black guys." In Nashua, New Hampshire this week, a high school student, Chris Connolly, while attempting to dunk a basketball, lost his balance, crashed down on the rim, and shattered 2 front teeth. Gee, I wonder if by some crazy chance Chris is white. This week, as America marked the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's entry into Major League Baseball, there was a sobering reminder that racial prejudice in sports is not yet a thing of the past. In a shocking move, today, all but one of the 125 playing members of the Professional Golf Association has signed a petition to ban African-American golfers from the tour. And now a correction to a story we ran last week. Prince Charles is actually the one in the middle. So we apologize for that.
Do you know the Harlem Shake?
Yeah, I've seen it on every single commercial.
You've seen it. Then you'll appreciate this joke. I remember back when the Harlem Shake was just a black fella holding me upside down off a fire escape trying to collect his money.
Can you find out what the quickest way is to the Santa Monica Freeway, please? And don't call me again.
Super Dad.
I don't care about anything. You don't call me again. There's no last minute fill-in. There's nothing. Okay? Thank God we're only reaching 50 people.
Wait,
that's all I can tell you.
Dirty Work. To my listeners, I challenge you guys to go watch the movie Dirty Work. Dirty Work is pound for pound, one of the funniest movies you will ever fucking see. When I tell you, Norm, listen, when I tell you the humor in Dirty Work was so amazing to me. This world of comedy, this like the not over the top, the conversation side of comedy, where it's about the words, it's about what we're saying. Dirty Work perfected that. Dirty Work,
you're wonderful, man.
Perfected
that. You want to be in the sequel? We're making it.
Oh my God! I do a cameo all day.
Okay.
I do a fucking cameo all day, man. I'm gonna give you the funniest scene for you. One of the funniest moments in Dirty Work. So in Dirty Work, there's a scene where they're about to have like the fight. It's like the bar fight.
Right.
And he's at the jukebox. He's like, oh, we got to put on some bar fighting music.
That's the beautiful Chris Farley.
And he puts on If You Like Pina Coladas. and then they start the fight. It's just not the right choice of music for a fight. Clearly the comedy choice there. But when I tell you, there's so many moments like that. There's so many moments like that in that movie.
That's the greatness of Norm Macdonald. It's like, I guess you'd look at it like the old Jack Benny movies. There's something where someone just stands there and shit goes on all around him. And he goes, hey, what's wrong with that dude? You know? Or, hey, homeless guy, here's your $2. You know,
yes, he addresses it.
He talks at people with the title of what they would be. Good evening, ladies of the evening. You know,
yes, he's fucking brilliant, man. How did Dirty Works come about?
Dirty Work was a script that Norm wrote with Frank Sebastiano, who wrote the original draft, and Fred Wolf.
Mm-hmm. He was a co-writer. My buddy Frank and Fred. Frank Sebastiano and Fred Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Yeah.
I always say to Fred Wolf, he lives in Hollywood, and I say to him, you must be pretty comfortable out there in Hollywood, Fred Wolf, because there's a lot of wolves out there. You know, a Hollywood wolf?
Yeah, oh sure, yeah.
Skirt chaser.
A skirt chaser, that's right. And you know what? I'm the first comedian Norm ever saw in Ottawa, Canada when he was 17 and I was 22.
Wow.
Bob was the first comedian that I ever saw perform when I was a boy, live, and I loved him.
I still don't know how he's younger than me, but that's the story. He's sticking to it. And
he's sticking to it. He's not letting it go.
No, I think he is younger. And so, I don't know, we had a closeness. We just had a thing. And he thought I was the right guy to direct it.
You know who directed the movie? Of course you know. You were in it. Bob, TV blooper, Bob Saget. Bob TV blooper Saget.
Yeah, he directed it.
Yeah. Can he direct?
No, not at all.
Was it just a lot of people getting hit with a rake and stuff? Just bang! A lot of people falling down at weddings and that kind of thing?
It was very comfortable with him as a director, though, because, like, he would give me, like, acting notes. He'd go, I think you should do it this way. And then I'd go, I've seen you on that Full House. What are you talking about?
So you hired him to direct the movie so you'd have somebody to push around? Is that what it
No, he actually is very, very funny.
Yeah, he's a nice...
The weekend it opened was the last 2 days that Michael Jordan played for the Bulls.
Oh my God.
That was like, okay, that's our audience, the 16-year-old kids that watch Norm on Saturday Night Live. But since then, I mean, the praise you just gave it is beautiful, man. And I'm gonna hate for the cameo. I'll come to your house to film it.
Listen, I'm dead ass. I mean it when I say truly one of my favorite movies of all time, man.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Friends and Genesis for better anyway.
So if I had to say 5, I hate lists and stuff. I'll say 3 and then leave 2 spots open. But I would say Brian Regan, he's my favorite comedian alive. Kevin Hart, I would say Colin Quinn. And then I'd leave 2 spots open.